see it with your bad self. If you're into taking L's, then it can't help. I'll be the self-made champ, look at my belt. I built this star from the ground up, it's all by myself, you know. This is the return of the one. You ain't see him coming, you just heard drums. They've been ready for the battle, any person that comes. Got the weight of the world on them, yeah, they too strong. I might have been down, not out. It's on sight, you gon' figure that out. And I might have been down, not out. Only one thing I gotta know now, so are you ready for the comeback? Yeah. Are you ready for the... Are you ready for the comeback? You know we don't want that. Let me see them hands up all the way front back. Yeah, it's the comeback. Are you ready for the comeback?
Live from the Grand Canal Hotel in Venice, Slytherin is proud to present Home of Wargamers Live.
Hello everyone. We're live from Venice. It's a pretty exciting moment for us. We are live from one of the most beautiful cities in the world, and as they say here, ciao to everyone. We are going to have a pretty intense 3 hours of live streaming. As you have seen from the video before, sorry, I'm missing the right camera, I'm here. As we have seen in this recap video, you know, we started quite a long time ago. It's been like 22 years now, and we have quite a lot in house for the future. And this is what we want to talk about now. We're going to talk about the future. The future for us is full of very big releases. We want to make sure that today is about these future releases. We have been doing a good, you know, good time, and you know, looking at the past and you know how far we've come and so on. We're now in a position to say, you know, let's look ahead and see what happens tomorrow for us. And tomorrow is full of big releases. Today we have 3 hours of live stream where we are going to sort of focus on 4/5 of these releases. 2 of these you have never heard about. 3 of these you actually know about, and these are Master of Magic, Starship Troopers, Terran Command, and Stargate Timekeepers. We have, so how it's all going to work. We have, well, first of all, we have a live audience, which is made of internal staff of the company. We are all here in Venice for an offsite, so it was a good opportunity for us to do a live event whilst everyone was here. So it's everyone from production, everyone from operations, and we've got developers, programmers, artists, and more. And also we have the producers, and you know they are the ones that are, you know, better suited to talk about the games. So Master of Magic, Starship Troopers, and Stargate will have live on stage a producer addressing questions from the audience and so on. The other thing we've got is 2 unannounced games, and we have more. We have, you know, other announcements that on things that you know might not expect from us. So I'm pretty excited about all this. It's a great moment for us, and it's great that we are live on a stage from a beautiful city. We're able to bring all of our kids here, and so before we go into the games, I'd like to welcome on stage Julia, who is going to help me do this.
Hello.
Hi, Julia.
Hi, Marco.
We're going to have this conversation together. Basically, it's a live event we're going to host together. Julia, as you know, is you know, the face of our website and our social media. Yeah, you try to. Our social media and right. So, Julia, we can expect a lot from today, but you want to sort of start by saying a few things to our viewers and followers.
Of course. First of all, welcome everybody. We are really excited. And I remind you that you can communicate with us. You can ask whenever you want. You just have to follow our social channels. You have to follow Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, of course, Twitch and YouTube. And you can ask your questions directly in the chat. we will answer. We will also answer to the questions our followers already made on our social channels in the past days. And the questions we won't be able to answer, we will answer in the tea time, of course.
Yeah. It's almost going to be like a place where you can ask any question.
Yeah.
So make sure you do this. You interact with us. We already stored some questions, but some of the stuff we are going to pick up live and make sure that we address and answer, during the live streams. So I can see some people far on the back that are already ready to do their bit. But before we get to that point,
I have to remember our hashtag.
The hashtag.
I have to. Sorry, our hashtag is HowLive2022. So write it down, remember it, and use it on all your social channels to speak about our live.
Yeah, one of the things I wanted to say, I'm going to say more during this event, is that we're going to have a lot of other Twitch channels hosting us and co-hosting us.
Yeah.
So I want to thank them all.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you for your support and making sure that our games are in front of your viewers and followers' eyes.
Yeah.
The first game that we are going to see today is Master of Magic. Then we're going to do. So this is going to be taking quite a lot of time.
Yeah.
One of the things, Julia, we are trying to do today is go in depth with the games.
Yes. We will show something that you users have never seen, and we are really excited about that because it's a great chance to see more of the game, waiting for it to be released.
Yeah, I think one of the when we discussed about this event the first time, we wanted to do something that was not only about announcing things and showing screenshots, but actual live gameplay. Yeah,
live gameplay. And thank you to Alienware that is supporting us during the live gameplays.
Exactly.
And you will be able to see something new.
Something. I mean, I think Master of Magic is a good example. You're going to see a lot of the game, a lot of what we have done so far with the game, and also on the other products we're going to show, there is a lot of extra gameplay you haven't seen before. Yeah. We have also Starship Troopers, which is going to end our live event today.
Yeah, and that will be released soon.
It's the 16th of June. Yeah, we're releasing on the 16th of June. Starship Troopers, we're going to show you, hopefully, a full scenario, an entire scenario. And we also have Stargate with, again, another live scenario played by the producers and the development team. Yes. The other thing is there's some unannounced things. How excited are you about that?
I'm so excited. I know the two games we are talking about, and I'm so excited that they don't know them, and they will be so surprised and happy about these upcomings.
I think some of them know, but they don't know, right?
Maybe. Yes. Some of them make some guessing on our Twitter in the past days.
And some were correct.
Some
were pretty correct, yeah.
You will know later if you were right or not.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, so without further ado, I will now introduce you guys to Alberto and Mark, who are going to play and comment on Master of Magic. Actually, Paolo Paglianti, the mighty Paolo Paglianti, playing Master of Magic live as if it was 1994, and he was there. It's like dinosaurs.
Yeah. And he always talks about Master of Magic. It's like he was born in 1994, that I was born in 1994, so I am as old as
right.
Master. Yeah,
I didn't know that. Yeah, that's great. All right, guys. So let's take a look at Master of Magic now.
Yeah.
28 years ago, a game started a whole new genre. Today, developer Muha Games and Slitherine are proud to present the next generation of the Master of Magic franchise. Welcome on stage, senior producer Mark Hardesty and senior brand manager Alberto Casalini.
Hi everyone. Hello, I'm here with Mark and Paolo, and today we're going to show you Master of Magic. This is a remake of a classic from the 90s. So, Mark, what can you tell us about the game?
Well, it involves magic, it involves wizards. It's very much a remake of the classic 90s, as Marco was saying. I think it's from 94. It's a 4X strategy game, one of the earliest there was. And there's exploration, there's research of magic. Yeah, I mean, it's a classic, really.
Yeah, it basically established the rules for 4X games.
Yes.
Nice, awesome.
Yes. Yeah, I mean, there's been, and it's very much a remake that we're doing, even to the point where when I sort of talk to the developers for a game design document, they are working from the Master of Magic wiki, so it is very much a remake.
Okay, awesome. All right, so let's jump into the game. We have a number of things to show you today. So first, we'll have a look at the number of available wizards, and wizard customization. We will have a look at the number of available races and all the spells and all the units. It's a lot of stuff, so let's jump into it.
Okay.
Non si vede niente. Non vediamo niente. All right, so now we see it. Okay, so what do we see here?
Yeah, so when you start a new game, there are 14 wizards that are available to choose from. Again, all kind of the classics from the original game. Each wizard has its own sort of characteristics and its sort of magical schools that it comes from. As you can see on the bottom right, there are various spell books. And depending on those, you get a different sort of set of spells from the different schools. So Merlin here is sort of heavy on sorcery, and if you choose another wizard, you can see how that all changes. So you've got nature there. Yeah, there are dark wizards that sort of deal with chaos and death, and there are ones that are sort of more life-based as well.
Yeah.
And depending on who you choose, it's a different, it's a different gaming experience because you have a whole different set of spells.
Yeah. Also, each wizard behaves according to a different personality. So, of course, for instance, Ariel will behave differently, diplomatically. She will be possibly more keen on collaborating with other wizards, while others more evil inclined wizards will be a bit more nasty.
There are more warlike wizards.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, within the game, there's up to 5 other wizards you're playing. So yeah, you can play them off each other, or play according to their traits, really. As we can see, there's a bit of a makeover. Anybody who knows the original game and what they looked like before, they look a lot prettier now. But they do have that kind of core of what they were.
Uh-huh. All right, so there is a wizard customization screen if you want to make your own wizard. As you can see here, we can enter our name. All right, perfect. Yeah. What do we see here, Mark?
So this is where you pick your trait in magic.
Yes.
You have a number of points that you can spend on either spells and spell books or on traits. Now, a trait will be things like if you're charismatic, you may get more heroes coming towards you, kind of coming to work for you. And also, you can, if you have too many traits, you have less spell books available.
Yeah.
So it's a bit of a sort of balance between what you want, how you want to play.
Yeah.
There are certain traits, for example, like Mirren. We have a couple of planes that the game is played on, and if you're Mirren, it allows you to choose additional races that we'll sort of get to in a bit. You could play where you have no traits and you just have a large proportion of spells, or you can have more traits. And again, it's customization. It's giving you a different game depending on how you sort of customize it as well. Yeah,
we'll have a more thorough look at spells later, but it should be noted that after you start the game, you can always research new spells. So yeah, let's continue.
So yeah, the next thing is actually choosing the spells you're going into. So because we've picked Death and Chaos spells, they're quite dark spells that Paolo's chosen. So you can you start with any kind of common spells, and depending on how many books you've brought in, you might have you can have a large range of different schools of magic. Yeah. So you can For example, you may have only 2 spells from death you can choose, but here we have more spells that are actually available.
Awesome.
Yeah, and there are over 200 spells in the game.
That's a lot of spells.
Yeah, and they're
all unique.
They are fairly unique, and
Like they're not variations of the same spell; they're just completely different spells.
They are, yes.
Yeah.
I mean, the developers, Muha Games, who we should really talk about, they are constantly saying how unique they are, which means that each one is kind of coded separately. Yeah, so you choose the spells, and then when you're happy with that, we go to the race screen.
Yes.
So when you start a game, you start with a race. And the first few sort of minutes of the game will be sort of basically this race that you're sort of starting with. But as you meet new settlements and either, I say befriend them, probably attack and take over the settlements, you then get those races that you found that you can start kind of creating units and managing the towns there. As you can sort of see, the screen split between Arcanus on the left and Mirren on the right. Arcanus is more the kind of a natural world, where Mirren is more sort of darker, magic-ridden world. So you get like the darker elves and the sort of the beastmen and the draconians sort of in Mirren. Each race is very different. You obviously have different units, you have different abilities, you have different buildings. Certain races, like the halflings, only have a few buildings that you build and a few units that you can kind of create, whereas the orcs and the high men, they have a very long kind of construction tree where you're building a lot more kind of complex units. Literally, I know the high elves are like, the high men are sort of 3 times more unit types than the halflings, for example.
Yeah, that's very important.
Yeah.
It should be noted that the race you start with is not necessarily the only race you will play with during your campaign. As you conquer more settlements, you can acquire subjects from different races. So by end game, you might be leading a coalition of high elves, high men, lizardmen, nomads, orcs, halflings. There's really a lot that you can do. Also, you mentioned Arcanus and Mirren. It should be noted that these 2 worlds coexist on different planes. During a normal playthrough, you can switch from one plane to another. There are certain ways that you can use to travel from Arcanus to Mirren and vice versa, including spells and magical gates. But yeah, we'll get to that. But yeah, I just wanted to mention that basically you will need to establish a presence in both worlds. So Master Magic really plays on 2 different maps.
That's right, yeah.
All right.
I just want to say before we go from the races, they do play differently. I've been playing, we're at beta at the moment with the game, and I've been playing for a number of months, and I still haven't played every combination. And there are certain races I'm not starting with. So there's a lot in there, and depending on the kind of your wizard and the races you choose, it's a very different starting position. And depending on the race you choose, the abilities are very different. Like the Clacons, which are kind of this lizard insect type race, they produce units very quickly and they sort of spread very quickly. Whereas the high men, it's a much slower kind of building up, but they're a stronger unit as you get through.
Yes.
So again, there's different play styles that you sort of get.
But yeah, as you can already see, there's a lot of variety in Master Magic. You can choose 14 different wizards, 14 different races, 200 different spells. We see later that there are almost 200 different unit types.
There are, yes.
So many dozens of different magical items that you can also craft new ones. So there are really endless possibilities. All right, enough of an introduction. We have prepared a save game for you. So there is this sort of advanced gameplay situation that we want to show you. Basically, we want to show you a more established setting in which we have already settled a few cities, built a few armies, and researched quite a few spells. Mark, actually, you did this save game.
Yeah,
what can you tell us?
Yeah, I can say. So I chose Merlin, sort of classic Merlin, not customized in any way, and I chose halflings. So I think it's kind of turn 180, 200, around that sort of period, maybe an hour and a half, 2 hours of play. So that's kind of the world we're sort of going in with. So you start with a main settlement, which is centered when we first go in there. So this was a halfling settlement. And this is the world. You know, you can sort of zoom in, you can zoom out.
And this is Arcanus, sorry, right?
This is Arcanus.
Okay,
yeah,
perfect.
yeah. So,
yeah, it's very green and
yeah. I mean, there were different types of biomes that you sort of see there, from sort of tundra and green and wooded areas and mountains and volcanoes, and a lot of water as well.
Awesome.
There's a fog of war. You can see the clouds as you explore. Usual thing, you kind of clear and explore. As you have units or settlements, they stay clear. Okay. If you move through a piece and then go, there's a slight sort of greying to that. So
okay.
Yeah. So this is the city screen.
Yes.
Paolo's chosen our main city, which, as I said, was a halfling. Cornbury. There's some town names that we've got in. I just want to say, we went initially with the original Master of Magic town names, but there were places like Coventry and Birmingham, many places I lived in, which was as far away from fantasy as possible. So the dev team have gone in and tweaked them slightly for some of those.
Yeah, there are tons of different subtle differences compared to the original Master of Magic.
Yeah.
It's not like a completely faithful remake. The feeling is still there, but there are a number of improvements quality of life improvements in order to bring the game to a modern era.
Yeah. So this is the city view. We have two city views. We've got the kind of and we have the map, the 2D map view. So the 2D map view is a little bit more detailed, shows the buildings that have already been built, a little bit of information of all the buildings too. And it allows you, as you're sort of searching the worlds, as you select on an opponent settlement, you can also sort of see which buildings they've sort of got in there in detail. So so we have that. Just to sort of explain some of the stuff here, kind of bottom left, we have the units that are currently in the settlement.
Yeah.
So again...
That's the garrison, right?
Yes, okay. Yeah, that's the garrison. So we've got mainly halflings. We've got a couple of heroes in there as well. We've got a wizard. Again, all from the original. Zaldron. And a barbarian in there that would have joined us at some point. So you get details there. You have top right, you have a little section on what the output of the town is. So I've currently got most of my people there are currently producing food. They're farmers, but you can balance it if you're building a lot of stuff or creating units. You can move them to workers
I see that we have a natural resource.
Yes, we do, yes. So the dotted line around the city sort of shows its influence. So if there was minerals there, it'll help to the building. If there's gold, it increases gold. If there's wood, it means the sort of constructing buildings increases in sort of efficiency as well. Okay. So you have settlements where you can kind of create you have settlers that can create new settlements. So again, exploring and I usually build things on the shore because that increases gold and trade and food production.
By the way, for instance, this town is inhabited by orcs, not by halflings. Like our capital is inhabited by halflings, but these ones are orcs.
Oh, that's right. That was one of the first settlements that I sort of captured while playing this game. Yeah. So if you look on the manage now, so this gives you an idea of how you create new buildings and also create new units. As you see, as Paolo's sort of scrolling up and down on the building types, I think in the original, you could sort of construct one building at a time or one unit at a time. We have a small kind of construction queue you can set up, and you can change between buildings and different units. Yeah. And I don't know, Paolo, if you just want to click bottom right through the different kind of units as well. There's a little arrow where it's one of two.
More to the right. Under the units list, yes.
Just to show there's kind of more orc units that you can get there.
Yeah. Since this is an orcish town, it totally makes sense that you can only produce orcish units.
Orcs, yes. Yeah. That's true.
Also, as Mark mentioned, the construction queue is entirely new. It wasn't in the original Master of Magic. It's one of those quality of life improvements since the original.
Yeah, that's right.
All right. So since we were discussing units, let's have a look at the army management screen, and maybe let's try to explore the map a bit, shall we?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, so in the top right, there are a number of screens you can go to. The army screen. We see all the armies that we have. We can kind of go into each unit and sort of get some detail about them. We also have the heroes, and if we find artifacts, we can then assign artifacts to those heroes. I don't think in this one we have any artifacts assigned to them at the moment.
Maybe we'll get more once we fight some battles, but
Possibly,
we'll
yeah.
get to that, yeah. What's that unit I see on Army 4? That's very interesting.
So that's
Paolo, can we have a look at it? Oh, that's a cockatrice.
Yeah,
Nice.
so we've got a cockatrice. This is a summon spell that I had researched and then cast. So they're quite powerful, sort of mid-range, fantastic creatures. But they fly quite quick, which means their movement over water, mountains is quite high.
Yeah.
So I was using these to sort of explore the world.
Yeah.
And I think these ones are actually, they had discovered another wizard's settlement as I was sort of playing that.
Yeah, just like with spells, there are so many units in the game. I believe you told me earlier there are almost 200 units, unique type of units.
I want to say 196.
That's very precise.
I'm quite happy for the developers to say if I'm wrong. Yes, there's 196,
Nice.
give or take, sort of different units in there.
Yeah, also wanted to mention that many strategy games have variations of the same units, but with Master Magic they're really, really different and diverse, and each unit type has its own particularities and characteristics and special traits. They're really unique and they feel differently on the battlefield.
That's true, yes, yeah.
Yes.
And especially when you come to the heroes as well, because you have heroes who have, if you, I don't know if you can select the
Yes,
the
can we
wizard.
see one hero in Army 1?
So there's the.
Yep.
Or in fact, go to the cockatrices, Paolo. We
Yes.
could go there instead. So this is the cockatrices, and I just want to say, Banter, the sort of the settlement just to the left, that will be another wizard's settlement.
Right,
that I've just sort of
right.
discovered. Should we talk about the spells?
Yes.
As they're now in front of us?
Let us do it, yeah,
Okay.
yeah. Well, spells, of course, are central to the game.
That's true.
Yeah. So as Mark was saying, there are over 200 unique spells. This is our spell book currently. You can scroll pages like an actual book. Right now, we only have a few dozens spells, if I remember correctly. But you can already see that they're very, very diverse.
Yeah. Do you want to just turn the page?
Yeah, let's turn the page of the spell book.
There you go. So there's a few pages that we've got
Yes.
currently. All of these are researched. You start off with maybe 8 spells, and you research more as you sort of progress. You can cast the spells in the world map at any time. Each one has an amount of time to actually be cast, and each one costs an amount of mana to actually cast as well.
Yeah.
So I've actually got quite a bit of mana at the moment, so they're quite almost immediate. Some of these spells.
Nice.
And we actually have on the save game the turn beforehand. I have finally cast a planar shift spell, which allows me to sort of shift
Sounds
between
juicy.
arcana. So I don't know if we click on the icons on the right, sort of our new items, units, and spells. So if I choose that, so I've now moved planes into Mirror, which
So
is
this is Mirror.
yeah. So this is
Nice.
a whole new world that sits kind of on top or below of Arcanus.
And we already found a settlement. That's
There is
brilliant.
a settlement nearby as
that's
well.
brilliant.
There you go.
For instance, what's that thing with the yellow beam coming from the sky?
It is a place of interest
Nice.
where there may be gold and artifacts. You may get mana from it, but often guarded by fantastic creatures. So some are easy to conquer, and some will wipe you out because they will be too, you know, you can meet some pretty nasty creatures.
Sounds great. Okay, let's have a look at the magic, at the spells research screen. It's just next to the cast spells button.
That's right.
Actually, this is the magic management screen. But yeah, we can also have a look at this. Here, Paolo is balancing our points between mana storage, research, and casting spells, right?
That's right, yeah. It allows you just to be sort of flexible. If you're getting low on mana, you can put up your mana sort of kind of creation just to get it. And you can also see where it says alchemy. It allows you to transmute between gold into mana and back as well. You can, if you're starting to run out of gold, but you have a lot of mana, you can sort of move things. But it's more information. It kind of, you know, the enchantments you control in the world, as you kind of create things, it'll kind of give you information about what you're doing there.
Awesome. Paolo, can we have a look at the research spell button? It's on the top, just next to the cast spell button.
Top center.
Top center. No, that's the magic screen. There we go. Oh, nice.
Yeah, so this is the spells. So currently I was researching a summoning circle, which allows me to, when I cast a summon spell, a summon smell maybe, a summon spell.
That could be a spell of its own, right?
It could be, yes. Yeah. Then the creature is created in your original city, where your sort of tower of power is, your wizard's tower.
Okay.
But this spell allows you to choose another settlement. So if you're fighting on a front away on the map, then you can start sort of summoning creatures kind of closer to that.
Okay.
But as a spell is researched, a new spell comes in that you can choose. One of the ways of winning, there's obviously other wizards that if you defeat them all, you become the master of magic. But there is a spell which is sort of the spell of mastery. And if you can finally research that and cast it, and it triggers after a number of turns,
yeah,
you are the master of magic.
Yeah, but I think that when you try to do that, the other wizards won't be too happy.
They will try and sort of stop you from doing that. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Actually, let's have a look at diplomacy. A very quick look, because after that we want to get into tactical battles. So, Paolo, can you click on the diplomacy screen? No, it's the other button.
So it's the one top right, but not settings. Other way. There you go.
There we go. All right.
Yeah, so the diplomacy screen, say there are 4 other wizards in the world. You can trade with them. You can form treaties, or you can go to war with them.
Yes.
Depending on how you play in the world. If you attack Taron, for example, he will come and say, I am at war with you. And you can go back and try to sort of make peace with him, and he'll probably tell you.
Also, you can exchange spells.
You can trade, yeah, you can.
Yeah, let's try. Let's give them an offer they can't refuse.
Yeah, so each spell has a cost, so if you can match the cost.
Yeah, we are matching it. So let's try to click and confirm. There we go. So we have 2 new spells.
Yeah,
that's
so that
great.
would have traded new spells.
All right, so now I think, well, by the way, I wanted to mention something. You might have noticed there are some placeholder texts. Of course, the game has just entered its beta, so we're not ready to release yet, of course. It will take many, many months. We're just starting to get a lot of awesome feedback from players. In case you want to give us some feedback and help us with developing the game, you can still apply, and we will add more people in the beta as we proceed with the beta.
That's true, yeah.
All right, so now we have another save game, because we, of course, want to show you tactical battles as well. So now we are resuming the game, and we will load a battle that you have prepared. So what can you tell us?
Yes, so this is, it's a little bit after the game we were just seeing there. There's a couple of battles we could go into. When you actually go into a battle, when you're attacked, when you attack, when a settlement attacked, or when you attack a settlement, you have 2 options. You can have your familiar, which every wizard has a specific familiar, who will do the battle for you. And it's very much a kind of instant auto battle. And there'll be information sort of saying, 100% victory or 30% victory. So you have to kind of make a choice of whether you want to do the battle or not, or whether you want to do the auto battle or not. But you also have the option of going in and doing the battle by yourself, which is what I think we will be doing here.
Okay. So now we are at the world screen, and we are going to order one army to attack another.
Yeah, so if you just go up a little bit, Paolo, and to the right a little bit.
There we go.
There we go. We've got some beastmen, and there's a place of interest that if we move the turn, actually, if we go to the next turn.
Yes, we need to skip turn.
Yeah. I mean, the game is turn-based. We probably haven't said turn-based so far in this presentation, which is crazy.
I will hope that it's pretty self-evident, but yeah, you never know, actually.
So at the end of each turn, the opponent wizards are sort of moving their units, and as you can see, turn 372 we're on at the moment, which is up at the top. So this is a place of interest.
Yes.
Some dark caves for mere shelter for the elements, but some may hide a beast lair. So we don't know what's in there at the moment.
Now we do.
Right, now we do. So we've got cockatrice. It's very bear-heavy.
That's the unit we were talking about earlier.
Yeah. We've got some sprites, which are kind of little fairy creatures. And on the right-hand side is our unit. So this is a beastman. So in the game, I discovered some beastman settlements, which I've sort of taken over and started kind of creating various beast units. So we've got, if you right-click on those units, actually, Paolo, you can see some details. So I've got one beastman magician. I think there's two beastman shaman, manticore. And with these units, so the beastman magician, for example, if you kind of find him, he has his own spell book. So he has specific spells that you can kind of...
Well, the priests also do have some spells of their own.
Yes.
So for instance, the priests are healers, while the wizards will use offensive spells. Also, each wizard, the protagonist of the game, can also use their own spells to influence the outcome of a specific battle, as well as, on the world map.
That's right. So our familiar is saying there's a 80% chance we're going to win.
Yes.
But let's
so
see.
That's like an auto-resolve button. Yeah.
Let's see if we can not do worse than that.
Yes, let's try. So let's command the battle personally. Well, Paolo will. We will just command.
We will command the Paolo.
Yes.
So as you're attacking, the opponent has the first go. You have 50 turns in a battle. As you can see, turn 0 of 50. So, so some of the options you can see.
What do you think our strategy should be? Because we only have like one melee unit, and the other ones are pretty ranged.
Well, we've got the Minotaurs, which are pretty... They've got sort of like special shield abilities, so you get them at the front. Catapult and the...
Oh, wait. Sorry. Paolo is about to cast one spell. So,
okay.
Oh, a fireball. Yeah. He probably was... Yeah. He took our advice when we were saying that we should use spells in order to win this battle. Okay, those parts are actually quite nasty. I mean, earlier when we were trying the game, they were pretty squishy and...
The sprites will sit at the back and just keep firing.
Yeah, it's best to take them out earlier. Yeah. That's some heavy fire. I think Paolo just wants to take care of the sprites as soon as he can.
So some of the options here, you can obviously see the details of the units on the left and right-hand side, which gives you more information about sort of the health and the strength of each one.
So now Paolo is using Stone Skin in order to buff one of his units. In this case, the Minotaurs. So they are now buffed. They're more resistant to enemy blows. And time to get in the thick of the fight.
The manticores. So some of the other elements, like in the top middle, we have a battle report, which kind of sort of says what's going on. We have, on the right, we have autoplay. So when it's your turn, you can switch on autoplay, and the AI will play for you. And we have speeds as well. So if you want to see what's going on, but actually times 4 speed, we have the ability there as well.
That's great. Now let's see what Paolo is doing. He's using his Minotaurs to attack the bears. Sounds sensible. Ooh, healing powers.
Can I heal the Minotaurs?
That's clever, yeah. I think it's just trying to keep the monitors alive as much as it can. Also, we should mention that units gain experience as they fight.
That's true, yes, yeah. They level up all the
Yes.
time. So again,
Actually, you can also see that on the unit screen on the top left corner. You can see their level and their experience that they accumulated. So you really have to keep your units alive if you can. You don't have to, of course, but it's generally sensible to do.
That's true. I don't know if you want to show autoplay on here and just let... There we go.
So now the AI just sorting out the fight itself.
So so he was moving the shaman further away to sort of do ranged attack. You can have a drink now, Paolo. But yeah, the AI in autoplay will cast spells for the player as well. So it does use mana as well, but it should be doing for the best thing to win the game for you.
Yeah, I think we're almost done with the AI.
2 bears left, I think, to sort of take
Yes.
out. Let's just give them a little blat.
I really like how they really shoot from afar. Ranged units in this game seem pretty powerful.
And you can zoom in as well. I don't know, Paolo, if you want to just, because I think you've been sort of zoomed out for most of that.
Yeah,
So
there's
you
only
can
one
zoom
bear
in.
left. Ooh, what's that?
I think he probably either healed.
Yes, I think so. There was a buff of some kind.
Yeah.
And there we go, victory.
So we got a victory.
So this is the victory screen, and
Yeah.
this is what you gain if you win a battle. In this case, we gain some gold, we gain some mana. There's a
Got an
new item, a
artifact,
chainmail, nice. So that's the artifact you were talking about.
Yeah, so that means you can assign that to one of your heroes. So as you get these sort of these places, there's artifacts, there's mana, there's rings, there's weapons, there's staffs, there's boots. There are a lot of artifacts in the game, and I can't remember exactly, but there's a ridiculous amount. And later spells allow you to craft your own artifacts as well, depending on how much mana you want to sort of spend on them.
All right, that's cool, awesome. Oh, here's another battle. Well, let's have a very quick look. I think we only have a few minutes left, so just enter the battle, Paolo, and then we'll switch to a very nice surprise that we have for you. But yeah, let's have a look at this.
Yeah. So I guess we're going. This is a. Oh, that was awesome.
He wasn't feeling like fighting the actual battle. So.
Okay.
But yeah, we won again. So another item, unit abilities. That's really, really powerful. Well, I mean, those are neutral armies, so generally it's not really incredibly hard to wipe them out. I mean, it really depends, but what you should be worried about are other wizards. They're your competitors, they're your rivals.
Yes, that's true. Yeah. I mean, it's kind of it's when you're developing games, it's lovely to see as they progress. And when a game like this, and with the the AI of the enemy that is in development, 2, 3, 4 months ago, it's a different AI, and it's great playing kind of weekly or every 2 weeks a new build comes in, and the AI just gets smarter and smarter and smarter, and it's getting to that point now where you can see the enemy AI doing little strategies as they're sort of coming in on your settlements and sort of trying to take you out. It's quite nice. So yeah, I mean, what we're seeing where we were just there are a number of wizard settlements. This is, I think, are these clacons?
Yes, they are.
Do you want to just tap on Tarul up there? So this was another one of the settlements. So I think we've got kind of, this is my stag beetle factory, basically. I was just like mass-producing stag beetles.
By the way, I really love the unit illustrations. They are so cool. They're amazing. I love it.
Yeah.
Okay, so now we are about to run out of time, but first we have a special video from you. It's a video from the developers of Wargames. It's a team composed of 6 people, and they have a very special message for you. So let's watch it.
Hi, I'm Yuki from Muha Games, and we're the studio responsible for the Master of Magic remake. So the last time I spoke to you was when we were at the very beginning of our journey, and I'm happy to say that we are now almost at the other end. So as I'm recording this video, we are about to begin the public beta tests, and by the time you see this video, hopefully they have been going for a couple of weeks. So yeah, reaching that milestone is just so exciting for the team here. I think as any game developer will tell you, when the game finally comes together in those early beta builds and everything is, well, working or almost working. But you can see all your hard work actually live in the game. I think it's great. We've been doing a series of development diaries over the last 10 months, and in the last one we've actually asked a couple of internal Q&A questions just to let people know how we are feeling or how we have been doing in developing Master of Magic. So I'll just give you a quick recap on those questions now. So one of the questions I asked was, what was the one thing that we most enjoyed so far working on Master of Magic? And the other one was, what was the most challenging thing we've found working on Master of Magic so far? I would say that the thing that we've enjoyed most and that we are still enjoying is delving into a very complex world that is just magical. I mean, it's such a big part of gaming history, and it's got in particular the skills, the spells, and just the game mechanics. They're all very complex, so you don't get those copy paste spells, I feel, in Master of Magic. I think every spell here has its own quirks, its own meaning, and I think that's been a fun thing to do. And then one of the things that we found most challenging, again, they link actually to the things that we enjoy more. So this wonderful complexity of Master of Magic comes as the price. And that price is that there's a lot of exceptions to the rules, the spells. So you have to quite often create mechanics specifically just for one spell, which you normally wouldn't, or we normally wouldn't do when we design a game. But anyway, so yeah, that's what we've loved so far and what we found challenging, but it's been a great process, and the beta is now going, and hopefully with the help of the community we will just polish this wonderful game and recreate it in the best possible way. So thank you for everyone who has applied and will be testing our game, and for those of you who didn't want to get in or couldn't apply, I hope to see you guys in early autumn when we hope to release the game. So thanks very much for listening to me, and bye.
Just a quick one. We experienced some issues with the audio desync on Twitch. I hope that's resolved now. I hope that you're enjoying the Twitch stream at its best. At the moment, we have collected some of the Master of Magic questions, and we're going to address them later on as well. So all the questions that you've asked, we're either answering them today or on Thursday at tea time. But I'm here also to announce something new. So before I announce something new, let's take a look at a brief teaser trailer. Yeah, here it is, the worst kept secret in the world. Hey, Neil.
Good afternoon, Marco.
And Neil is a senior producer for the Filigree franchise, so you've been working on Filigree for quite some time.
Well, yes, as you say, it's probably the worst kept secret, and people have been asking for it for a long time. And the reason we haven't been talking about it for a long time is we've been doing a lot of work to get it up to the standard it needs to be.
Yeah, and I mean the guys. I mean we have Pocus in the room now, and Ivan also the main artist on the game, and they've been working on it. So how long have been the game been in development?
Well, it's been in development more or less since we shipped the Persia DLC for the Fog Empires, and whilst I was in charge of that, I can't even remember how long ago that was now.
It's a long time ago. Yeah, and we didn't say anything about it because we tend to try not announce games like too long before their release. Now we have an idea of when the game's going beta and so on, so it's a moment to announce it.
It is the right moment to announce it. The game has taken shape, and we know what the major design pillars are. We didn't just want to take Empires and move the story a few hundred years on. We've thought about what that would actually mean and how that would affect gameplay. For example, we now have Europe is split into many more smaller states, so we have a lot more factions that you can control at the start of the game. We're up to almost 400 factions, I think, you can control at the start of the game. Religion is now a much bigger part of the game. It's a central pillar of what we're doing with Fog Kingdoms, because obviously it was such an important part of life at that time. So the battle between religions, the struggle primarily between Christianity and Islam, but also there are various other competing factions, forms a large part of the game.
We've got some screenshots. One of the things I want to ask before we show the screenshots, how final work are these screenshots that viewers are going to see today?
Well, one of the things we've been working very hard on for a long time is to bring the game up to sort of an acceptable visual standard, and it's been a lot of work to do that. We've had to do an awful lot of work on the map. Ivan in particular has been working very hard on the UI to give it the more medieval look and feel, to tie in, reflect what we did with the Fog Medieval game, to take our cues from medieval art. So the map is definitely taking shape. I don't think it's finished yet, but certainly
we've got a video of the map. It's just a small video, or some of the screenshots are showing the map as well. So might be good to sort of start showing. I don't think we're going to comment on anything specific about screenshots we're going to see, but we want to sort of delve into how the game is structured, what people can expect from the game.
So there's various changes in this game. We've tried to take things that people didn't like and make them better. I think the most obvious area where we've done that compared to the original Empires game is in the system of trade goods. So no longer will one mine supply all of Western Europe, all of your territories. You don't get bogged down in micromanagement, but it makes a bit more sense. Another issue where fans had problems in the past was with buildings and the way that buildings appear. You can now choose a specific building that you wish to build. It will cost you some of your authority points. Authority is the replacement that we have for the culture and decadence ratings, which was very well received in the previous game, a mechanism to stop the game snowballing, which is often a problem in 4X games. The closer you get to the end, the more powerful you are, or the more hopeless your case is. Empires worked very well in trying to curtail that, and we've built a lot on that in terms of how we make that look better now.
Yeah, come on, go full screen with these screenshots if we can. That would make people happy, because I don't think our faces are.
I would certainly agree with that, and I'm sure many people out there would.
One thing I want to ask was campaigns. I mean, a lot of people will ask, well, I guess we know what the standard questions are for these sort of games. So how would will the game be shipped with campaigns and how that will
The
be
game
structured?
will ship with campaigns, yes, and it will be more than Empires again. So we will have the main scenario, which will be the main huge scenario that we have. We will have two sort of very large side scenarios and a more rounded tutorial campaign this time around. You can see the screens here, sort of brighter, more colourful, more influenced by painting and sort of medieval artwork style. You've seen the brightness of colours in the central map we have here, in the gameplay map behind us, and in the intro movie that we showed, which will be a lot of the UI will reflect that look and feel as well.
It does look like, you know, that it's taking a big step forwards from a visual perspective.
Definitely, yes. I'm very pleased with the way it's looking, and there's been a lot of not only artwork but technical work that's gone into this. There we are. Yes, there's been an awful lot of work going into making this happen. We can see various small kingdoms around France. In fact, France is so small you can barely see it on the map at this point. And a lot of programming work has gone into any of those competing small kingdoms within France can eventually rise to unify France. So you can you can take Aquitaine or Poitou or Normandy or wherever and end up ruling all of France and unifying France and under your control.
Here's Venice.
Here's Venice. What better place to be? Venice was almost at the peak of its powers when the game starts. As with Fog Medieval, the game starts after the Great Schism between the Eastern and Western Church in 1054. So yes, Venice was almost at the peak of its powers. We were lucky enough to sail past the Arsenale last night, which will be featuring in this game as well. It will be a very powerful building if you can rise as Venice to build the Arsenale.
One of the things we were discussing earlier was this concept of, you know, rise and fall and legacy you have to bring forwards, and this was already introduced in Empires, but now, you know, we're taking a further step
There's
forward.
a lot more work being done on this. The way that you grow, become more powerful, conquering territory is a lot more important than it was in the original game. There are many more criteria by which your ascent to power will be judged. At the same time, the more land you control, the less your authority is. So now you will have to split off control of various regions to vassals, and you need to keep an eye on them for their loyalty as well. At the same time, we have a system of inheritance and of bloodlines. So you would ideally look to pass on maybe rule over one of your vassal states to one of your children or an uncle and give them control. But you're never quite sure of their loyalty, of course. It's not like there's a number between 1 and 10 showing you their loyalty. So the tension between controlling territory and being able to manage all of the competing interests within that is going to be one of the central pillars of the game.
One thing you mentioned earlier was pillars on what Empires was, and bringing these pillars to the next phase. I guess we're still talking WeGo, right?
Absolutely WeGo, yes. I know we don't do so many WeGo games and that we would like to do more, but this is, yes, very much firmly a WeGo game. In terms of turn-by-turn gameplay, users won't notice any sort of any crazy changes. We're very much building on what we had with Empires already. It was well received. I think internally we always felt very pleased with how Empires was as a game. So we're not doing anything crazy. We go up to 16 players in multiplayer. So yeah, plenty of opportunity for challenge in there. Before
we thank you and move to another one of your games.
I'm a busy man this afternoon.
and it's going to be me again on the other side of the room. But just quickly, when players are going to put their hands on a beta?
We are hopeful that it will be early autumn at the moment.
All right, not too far.
Not too far at all. I have a precise date in mind, but I'm not going to say it here on the screen today.
Don't say anything.
But early autumn, definitely. As I was saying earlier, a lot of work has been done in the background already. We've had somebody researching full-time on this for 6-7 months, which frees up the programming team, of course, to do their work as well. Poker's free to concentrate on the gameplay. So a lot is in place now. There's still a lot to happen, but I would hope early autumn we could start a beta.
All right, well, as my counter says, time up. we have a, I think we've announced and said what we can say so far. There's a lot more. There is a product page going live on Steam today, and so people can on our site as well. And I think all the third-party sites are also publishing the product page, so they will be able to delve a little bit more into the details of what the features are.
They'll be able to see all the information I've missed out today.
You didn't miss anything. Come on. And we're going to have like 2 minutes to move to the other side of the room, so
yes,
we better run.
Race you.
Yeah, cheers.
Are you ready? Are you ready for the comeback? You know we the ones that ready for whatever. We gon' have to show them something, man. Let me see them hands up all the way front back. You don't understand that I'm doing what you can't with no cap. This is the return of the one. You ain't see him coming, you just heard drums. They've been ready for the battle. Any person that comes got the weight of the world on them. Yeah, they too strong. And I might have been down, not out. Only one thing I gotta know now. So are you ready for the comeback? Yeah. Are you ready for the? Are you ready for the comeback? You know we don't want that. Let me see them hands up all the way front back. Yeah, it's the comeback. Are you ready for the comeback? Now I see it with your bad self. If you're into taking L's, then I can't help. I'll be the self-made champ. Look at my belt. I built this all from the ground up. It's all by myself, you know. This is the return of the one. You ain't see him coming, you just heard drums. They've been ready for the battle. Any person that comes got the weight of the world on them. Yeah, they too strong. I might have been down, not out. It's on sight, you gon' figure that out. And I might have been down, not out. Only one thing I gotta know now. So are you ready for the comeback? Yeah. Are you ready for the? Are you ready for the comeback? You know we don't want that. Let me see them hands up all the way front back. Yeah, it's the comeback. Are you ready for the comeback?
All right, back live from Venice. I'm taking a little bit of time to welcome anyone who's just joined us from either on either our channels or on somebody else's, some of our hosts' channels. Thank you for joining us. We've got a pretty busy afternoon. What we've done so far, we've showed 40 entire minutes of Master of Magic. So you missed that. You're gonna miss it. You're gonna have it available on demand on YouTube after this live stream.
Yeah, of course. Our user enjoyed so much Master of Magic and of course also Field of Glory Kingdoms. Many comments arrived and you have time also now to make your questions about the upcoming games, also about the ones you already see, and we will answer later or in our tea time.
Yeah, we'll answer questions all the time. Do you also want to give the hashtag?
Yeah, hashtag HowLive2022. So write it down if you haven't done it yet.
So I had someone getting angry at me because I had 1 minute. I was 1 minute late on the previous block.
Oh my God.
Yeah. I was intense, but we now have. Thank you for. Yeah, this is a great thing. We're just showing this. Some cool Master of Magic screenshots.
Yeah.
You had some questions, right, that you wanted to answer?
Yeah, I have some questions. I'm gonna ask you one or two.
Let's see what we can do.
First question.
Yeah.
What are the improvements since the original Master of Magic?
Wow, this is a good question. This is one for the developers, but I think I can answer this by saying that really what we're trying to do is take the original Master of Magic to the 21st century, so almost sort of copying what the game was in terms of gameplay and mechanics, but improve everything else that was, that needs an upgrading technology. So AI, pathfinding, stuff like, anything that has to do with how slick the game runs, the UI, the art, but the overall underarching game is really Master of Magic. So that's a cool part of it, really. What we're trying to do this project is with Muha Games is really bring this gem back to the players in its original shape.
Yeah, and it's really beautiful. I love the colors, graphic. It's amazing.
Ooh. We've got somebody who wasn't supposed to be here now. You got other questions on Master of Magic?
Master of Magic, for example, this is a question. Let's see if you can answer. How many spells are in Master of Magic?
I can't answer these questions. I don't know anything about.
I can. You know, I can.
Okay, what is it?
Over 200.
You got numbers on there.
Yeah. I asked to the developer before.
Okay.
That's why I know.
That makes sense. And one more. Let's say one more.
Let's say one more. Do you fight tactical battles in MOM?
Yes, we do. Yeah, we actually showed the tactical battles earlier on. They're pretty much like another game in the game, I guess, where you really have to make your wise decisions and almost play a different role within the game itself.
Yeah. And last question, maybe it's the more difficult.
Let's see. I've got 30 seconds. Can we make it?
It's only yes or no. Are console version coming?
This console versions. We're thinking about it. Actually, it's not impossible. We've got a game that's not easy to port to consoles in the sense that it's got a pretty complex UI. So it's not a slam dunk, but we're definitely thinking about it.
Okay, thank you. So.
No problem. As I am doing this on the fly, I've got 5 seconds left. I'm going to move to the other room and play some Stargate with Neil.
Yeah, go, fly away.
See you.
25 years after the release of genre-defining TV show Stargate SG-1, prepare to embark in a whole new adventure spanning time and space in turn-based tactics game Stargate Timekeepers. Please welcome on stage senior producer Neil McKenna and director of marketing Marco Manoli.
Well, thank you very much, everyone. It looks like I did win the race after all. We first showed Stargate to the world in the last Home of Wargamers event, when, unfortunately, due to COVID, we weren't able to meet up in Italy, as had been the original plan. I was talking about the first 2 missions and showed some videos, introduced the game that day. One of the characters we focused on, and
Hi, Neil.
Hello there, how are you?
It wasn't that long, but I missed my microphone, so I didn't know where it was.
I just about got a microphone in time. So
I've got this. I hope it's going to be enough.
So here we are. I was just saying at Christmas we had introduced the game and shown a couple of videos, introduced some of the characters we'd shown so far, and I was just getting to the point where I was going to say that today we're going to build on that by showing a good chunk of live gameplay on a different level.
Yeah, we've got Annie playing, by the way. Hello, Annie. The Master of Magic, the Stargate game. Before we jump in, I want to sort of step back and say, what did we, for anyone who didn't watch the stream on, was it December last year?
It was December last year, yes.
What did they miss, and what are they going to see today?
We showed an introduction to the Stargate game and the basic mechanics of the game, that it's a game with a lot of stealth mechanics in, where teamwork is essential. You control a number of different characters within the team. Teamwork is essential to solving the levels. It gave some flavour of what the levels felt like, that they were very different worlds. We showcased 2 very different planets that day, and the way you have to play very differently depending on the environment. How you would go around solving problems, the trade-off between stealthy approaches and violent approaches. And just sort of a brief introduction to a couple of set pieces, I think it would be fair to say.
Yeah, I think, okay, so that's as we jump into the game, I think that what we're going to... Okay, let's take a look at this cutscene here.
When did you first meet?
During a rescue mission in Moloch's domain. The Resistance planned to sabotage a barbaric ritual, the Ceremony of Fire.
Did you plan to stop this ritual from happening?
Not exactly. A direct assault on Moloch would have been unwise at that time. We wanted to save the prisoners by stealth.
What was the plan?
Our part was to get inside the camp, undercover. Up close, we could scan the appearance of one of Moloch's generals and use a mimetic device to take on a holographic disguise. That way, we wouldn't get hassled by the goons. The job required someone with both technical know-how and a flair for the dramatic. Luckily, our team included such a man, Sam Watson, our technical officer, old buddy of mine. Once inside, we do the same impersonation routine with a mimetic device on the High Priestess, Severta. She was conducting the ritual. With Sam acting as her, we could stall the proceedings while the kids were taken to safety.
All right, what better introduction than this, I guess?
Well, indeed, it's designed to be an introduction, after all. It does introduce, obviously, what you have to do in the level with a stealth game. It's vitally important that people understand fundamentally what they have to do. So we have a number of cutscenes throughout the game, and we also have audio introductions. One of the things we touched on at Christmas was how our game, which is telling a new story within the Stargate universe, still has a number of touch points with the original TV series. And I think today is another good example of that. Your mission here today is to stop a ceremony of fire, which does get referenced in the episode Birthright in I think Series 8 of the TV series. Moloch, the Gwald system lord who controls this planet, we're on the planet Haktil here, has decreed that all Jaffa girls should be burned alive because they are useless to him. Only men can fight, and thus the girls must be burned alive. It's therefore up to your Stargate team to stop this from happening.
So this is basically you're scanning through the map to see what you have to do and then going back to your starting point.
Yes, they're big old maps, and you need to understand the challenges that lie ahead of you. One of the challenges we had when we were working out what we were going to show today was how we were going to cram a whole level into a mere 45 minutes, as there simply isn't time realistically to play through from start to finish.
These are pretty big, yeah. So what are we seeing now?
We are seeing the camp here. We're introducing two new characters today who are... we have Max, who is the sniper. Max Bolton is our sniper. He made a brief appearance at Christmas as one of the supporting characters. He has sort of typical sniper characteristics. He is very good at killing people from a long way away, which is vitally important for a sniper. Given that kind of role, he has very much the grizzled veteran about him and the sort of the hard-bitten cynicism you would expect. He's also hooking up with his buddy Sam Watson today, who they were in our lore. They were originally army buddies together. Sam is a much more cunning character. He uses a number of technological tricks to be able to achieve his mission objectives. What we are seeing today is Sam and Max, great names indeed for gaming characters. They have something of a wisecracking relationship from time to time, and having assessed all the options, they can only come up with something ridiculous. So the plan is that Sam is going to try and get into this small encampment over here. There is a Jaffa general who is in the camp. It will be up to Sam to incapacitate that general and then use his mimetic scanner so that he can take on the appearance of a Jaffa general. This will fool most of the foot soldiers around the map. The Jaffa warriors and the general grunts will be fooled by this. However, the Jaffa generals themselves are not, for the most part, quite so stupid. So they will still spot you. But it's the only way they can find into the camp. So Sam needs to get up there. He needs to incapacitate the general and scan him so he can proceed into the camp.
Come on, Annie. Come on. Let's see the magic.
So as you can see, you can control more than one character simultaneously. We didn't show any of that last time. I think this map shows again well the importance of having two characters who work together, but will also need to occasionally fulfill their own individual objectives.
All right. What's happening here is...
It's got a classic sort of stealth mechanics here with a view cone where you can be seen. The solid part of the view cone and the broken part of the view cone is you can hide in bushes and so on and so forth. Unfortunately, Annie, this is a live broadcast, as you can see, has alerted someone. So, yeah, she needs to find a brute force solution to this problem, I think, because
which brings the question, I guess. Oh, Annie. Oh, come on, Annie. So it brings a question, is, how many different ways of going through a scenario are there?
There's always going to be a choice of ways to approach any given mission. Almost all missions, there are a few exceptions, but almost all missions you will have a small core of characters you have to select every time. There will also be one or two optional characters you will need to select every time. We haven't met all of those yet, so we can't break down exactly how that works. But there's each character will be bringing a range of skills, so the characters you choose will define how you go about the mission. When we were preparing this broadcast, the developers sent me a walkthrough video, and it was very different to the way I myself have approached this level. I was genuinely taken aback by, oh, okay, so you can do it that way. I adopted a rather sort of more brute force, clumsy approach and slower moving through. But also, you can choose to sort of sneak through very slowly individually. You can move your team around as a close-knit unit. The team will always need to work together, but how that manifests itself can be very different depending on the situation. So, yeah, there's always more than one way to solve any given problem.
I guess you go through the list of tasks within the map, and that how you achieve these tasks is entirely up to you.
Your objectives are quite high level. You've got to, in this mission, you will have to disguise as a Jaffa general. You will use that to reach the priestess who is going to conduct the ceremony. You will then knock her out, impersonate the priestess. You will conduct that ritual yourself whilst dressed as a priestess, and hopefully distracting the bad guys, as it were, and so you can save the children. Those are your top level objectives. How you go about that, it really is up to you. There are a few Easter eggs tucked away in there, a few little tricks, depending on what character you have. So there's many ways to approach a mission. The broad objectives are, of course, always the same.
One thing that we were sort of looking at was we have to be careful in not spoiling too much of the story, because this is a very narrative, very much of a narrative game. So you don't want to say so much about the story.
Indeed.
So we picked this scenario for a reason. Why was it that this specific scenario is because it shows enough of the game, and then.
We felt that it showed the game well. It's an environment that we haven't showed before. It's, as you can see, a nighttime setting this time around. It showcased new characters. It's a chronological progression from what we've shown before as well. As we touched on briefly last time, the chronology of the game moves around quite a lot. This is a chronological progression from what we have seen before. It's always been a nice looking level. You will recall from early presentations we've done internally, this was kind of one of the first levels we had that looked good. So it's always been a strong contender.
All right. So Annie did something different now. She's gone through this cliff.
Annie has kind of zoomed in here. There's a cliff outpost overlooking where you need to be. There's a lot of bad guys out there. So we have sent Max up ahead here to take care of the couple of troops who are manning the overlook. And Max has done what Max does best, silently sneaking up to people. I was distracted, so I don't know whether these people remain alive or not. I think so. They are tied up. So. But
one other thing comes to mind is, how hard is going to be, the final game going to be? Is it hard game? For we got a lot of Stargate fans out there who are, looking for just some, genuine entertainment, right?
For me, I would say it's the biggest challenge in getting the game completed. The number one thing in my in-tray, as it were, balancing the challenge of a stealth game to offer the level of complexity and difficulty that people who enjoy these games want to play, and offering a challenge for those players, but also allowing people who want to engage with the game very casually and just explore a new Stargate story and almost approach it from a narrative point of view. The game is large. There's a lot of story to be told. I've been through it line by line. There's an awful lot.
Yeah.
So we really do want to make the game accessible for both of those groups of people. It's absolutely the number one thing I want to achieve.
It's the first time, I think, in the Slytherin history where we almost get, attached to single characters, right? It's like, we're used to talk about different types of games, and this one is more about the story, the characters, and it's the first time we've got a heavily narrative-driven game.
It's very narrative-driven, yes. As I just said, there's an awful lot of story there. MGM have been very involved in the approvals process. They've been through every line and vetted it, and that they were obviously insisting that it meets the standards that we would expect from a well-respected property like Stargate. We are telling a long story here. We feel it's a good one with a lot of twists and turns, which of course we don't want to reveal, but there's no point in telling that deep, involving story if people have to give up halfway through because they're stuck on a mountain ridge or in a Mayan temple or what have you.
Sam is doing a good job there or not?
Sam's doing very well indeed. He's crouching in the bushes. We can see a civilian there. Civilians, unless they see something explicitly bad going wrong, they'll just leave you.
What happened there?
That's the Zat gun, the stun gun, which Sam carries. So that will briefly stun a Jaffa general, which is your window of opportunity to get up behind him. And now he's nicely tied up. Get that mimetic scanner going, and there we go. You can see that Sam in the bottom left-hand corner now, his avatar in the bottom left-hand corner is now in disguise. The figure in the playfield as well is now in disguise. So you see these guys now, they're chill.
Yeah, that's really good. Good job, Annie.
Smoothly done. There is something, a meeting of soldiers just hanging around, nattering to each other,
here.
not doing very much.
How bold the guy is now. Yeah.
You need some nerve to be crawling around in a camp, certainly. Annie is zooming in here to another Jaffa general. You are in disguise, so you will see the eye icon above the Jaffa general's head. Essentially, that means he is not fooled by your disguise. Normal rules still apply, so you can crouch, crawl through the broken part of his view cone, but if you're in the solid part of his view cone, he's going to spot you. So there's an awful lot going on here, mainly civilians. You're in a civilian part of the world.
I think something went wrong.
I think Annie may be in trouble here. There's another guy up around the corner.
I think something went wrong.
He may have spotted you, the other fellow.
Annie. Well, that's good. It's
These
good.
things
We're
happen when
live.
it's
We're live.
live.
So
We are
basically,
live.
how's that? So basically, once you complete one objective, you can restart from that objective.
Well, you can save pretty much anywhere. It's a vitally important part of a game.
So Annie
like this.
actually did this to show us how the save process works.
When we were setting up earlier, I did say do make sure to fail a couple of times, so it all looks real. And
you
it
did very well on that.
Kind of showcases what happens, and I think that is objective achieved.
So this camp here, so the next objective is to go to Svidra's house.
Svidra is the priestess. So You already know that your next objective is to get through the gate that we saw in the top right-hand corner there. That's been explained in audio in the fly pass at the start. So that's part of your route onto the gate.
So what is Max doing all this time?
Max is, well, as Sam would put it, he's essentially loafing around, but there Max is over there, keeping an eye out on things. He will be there to clear the way for Sam when he comes through.
I can see that on the bottom right-hand corner, you see the map and what the screen is looking at the moment, and it does look pretty big.
It really is very big indeed. I think even trying to speed run this when you know exactly what you're doing, we wouldn't have been able to fit it all into this time slot. So we're expecting that each mission, for an experienced player of games of this type, when coming to the game for the first time, it's probably going to take them at least an hour of challenge. So we've got a strong campaign, we feel, with a good amount of challenge in here.
Whilst Annie's trying to sort herself out there, when is the game going beta?
So the game is more or less feature complete at this point. Everything that needs to be in there is in there, with the exception of a good amount of VO. VO has been going in over the last couple of months. The VO also dictates a lot of the tutorial elements of the game.
All right, yeah.
So we're about a month away from having all that complete. At that point, I imagine we will look at it internally and kind of see what we think about it. But I would hope that we will be in a position to beta this at some stage in the summer. It's coming relatively soon.
Not too far away.
I really don't think it's too far away.
We know that July is a big anniversary for SG1, is it?
July is, I am quite frightened to remember 25 years, I think, from SG1. I can well remember watching it on television when it was a new thing, and suddenly that's 25 years ago. So yes, July is indeed a big date in the Stargate calendar, so it would be lovely to have something ready for then. But of course, we need to make sure that it's ready for public consumption.
I think something bad happened again.
Yes, I think Annie got a bit casual there.
I think one of the cool things I see about this game is that, I mean, for the first time I can see. Come on, Annie.
Come on, Annie.
Come on, Annie. I think you should be popping out this tent, guns blazing, and killing everyone.
You're not going to get very far by guns blazing. Yeah, that's. There are elements of violence you will always need to use. There are elements of stealth you will always need to use. How exactly you will go about that will always be a part of the challenge. We can see there that obviously a guard is alerted by seeing not just you, but by seeing a body on the floor there.
So what happened there now?
Well, as Annie was tying a character up, one of the guards spotted something untoward going along there.
Right now she's managed to
sneak off behind there whilst they were concerned about the body itself. And, now they've got no real idea where to go. They will continue to be irate for a while and come looking for her. However, Annie is going to trip the next cutscene as a sort of useful point to escape from that anger which she deliberately provoked there. There's been something of a failure of communication here, and the story takes a bit of a twist.
So that's one of ours, right?
I'm afraid so, yes.
Aha.
Yes, we were not expecting that. It turns out that there is a third agent in the mission who is Atar, a Jaffa girl whom we met again very briefly at the last Home of Wargamers as an assistant to Eva in Mission 2. As a Jaffa, she is faster and stronger than the Tauri characters, the Earth characters. She is good at, she can pickpocket characters. She also has stun abilities. She's a very accomplished climber. She is good at luring people towards her, planting lures, and bringing characters towards her. So yes, she too has her range of abilities.
Okay. What's your favorite character?
My favourite character, I must admit that I like the grizzled cynicism of Max, the sniper.
All right,
For
okay.
some reason, I find that quite relatable.
Oh, again. I mean, you've got lots of corpses around here.
Well, it's a dirty business, unfortunately. Whilst you do have the option, Sam does have the option, whilst dressed as a general, to distract some of the foot soldiers with chit-chat. It's not generally an option in this game.
Makes sense.
You've got to dish out a fair bit of violence. This is a very busy mission. There's an awful lot of bad dudes to be taken care of.
Well, this is a night mission. Does night and light of day and night does it influence how you play the game?
It doesn't. Night doesn't particularly. No, the challenges still remain the same. It's not like you can creep around easily at night and just do what you want, and they have a field of vision only that far in front of them. That just doesn't really work from a gameplay perspective. So the night thing is more or less visual, really, just showcasing a difference. You will still be up against a very similar level of challenge.
In this mission now we have 3 characters, and this is mission number.
This is mission number 3.
Right.
Well,
So
yes.
further into the game, how many characters will you be controlling at the same time?
I think off the top of my head that there are never more than 3 to control at any one time. There might possibly be one of the later missions where you are controlling 4. Probably got the developers going mad in the chat at me at the moment, but as I say, there might possibly be one with 4, but there's a lot to take care of. Any character is almost inherently a risk. A character is something that can be discovered, so trying to manage 4 of those can be something of a challenge. So 3 seems, from our testing so far, to be about the right
Reasonable.
balance.
Yeah.
It depends what comes up in beta, of course.
Yeah, of course, yeah. So what's happening here now?
So what's happening here is that Atar is sneaking around. We have, I was again distracted. I think somebody has been blinded, is that right? So our sniper has blinded somebody with a flashbang from over there. So they have a very narrow blue view cone. There we go, there's just an example. You can see, can you bring up the view cone for that character maybe, Annie, just to sort of illustrate? There you go. Well, he's recovered now by the time I thought to ask. But you can. The sniper has an ability not just to shoot people where you will leave a corpse that will be discovered if you can't get to it, but he can fire a flashbang that will severely limit a guard's view cone for a few crucial seconds, so allowing you to get past. And obviously they'll be on a state of high alert once they recover their vision.
All right.
So there are a number of new skills in play, which I
So just take a look at the UI there, whilst we take a look at the scene. So the UI, you've got like on the left-hand side, you've got a list of characters you've got available. Selecting one of the characters will open their available kits or abilities.
Yes. You will. It's very clear to see who you're controlling. You have the tab of 3 characters on the left-hand side. They all have a signature colour.
Okay.
One of the peculiarities of Slytherin is that we only hire colourblind producers. It's company policy, seemingly. So we always make sure that even for colourblind people, this works well. So each has their signature colour, so almost immediately you know who you're controlling. You have a big avatar in the bottom left-hand corner, which shows you not just the character you're controlling, but what state they're in, whether they're crouching. You can see when Max is holding his gun. You can see when they're carrying a body. We saw Sam earlier, who was in disguise, for example. You could see what he was disguised as. So you always know what your characters are doing. Your skills are in the bottom left-hand corner. They're just mapped to a number of numbers. Each character has unique abilities. It's not like everybody can stun and everybody can scan people's memories and so on and so forth. So yes, every character has their advantages and disadvantages.
I think I really always loved the scenario art, but also starting to I'm pleased to see that all the animations and such are really shaping up to pretty high standard now.
I've been really pleased with the progress we've made, particularly on animation recently. We've made sort of huge strides on that, and even in the last few days, as we've desperately got ready for this.
It was all easy when we received this build. What, like 20 minutes before the going live?
Much more than 20 minutes. We received it in time.
We downloaded it, and it was all. But we had like a number of B plans anyway, B and C and D plans.
Always, so. It was the first thing I learned, probably also about 25 years ago, is always have a plan B in this business.
So, especially if you're playing Stargate.
So absolutely, a lot will go wrong. That is the nature of the game. So you have to learn to manage that. A lot of stealth games are always in your face and telling you to save every 30 seconds and so on. And we've chosen not to do that so far. We didn't particularly like the way it worked. Again, we'll have to see how that goes in beta and see what the community think of that, whether it's something they would prefer to see more up front or not. So that's definitely something I'm looking forward to community feedback on.
I think the other thing, I was looking at the different scenarios we've got, and there's a lot of variety as well. It's not like, showing this doesn't give you a full idea of the game, because the game has so many different situations, varieties of landscapes and scenarios. It's crazy, right?
It really, everything is different. Everyone is completely different. We could do 14, 15 of these Home of Wargamer events and showcase something different every time. Everything is completely different, but it doesn't feel like it's different for the sake of it. Each different landscape brings different challenges. It advances the story in a sensible fashion. Bear in mind also the time loop mechanism on which we touched briefly in December. You'll be able to go back and replay previous missions anyway, so it's not enough to have a small variation of level artwork style, because you're already able to go back and replay those levels with new technologies and with new knowledge to get a new challenge out of those anyway. So the variety in landscapes, it really is fantastic. I think it's one of the strongest features of the game.
Yeah, I think usually most of these games have this, repeat scheme, right? There's these types of games have a setting, and almost the setting is dictating the landscapes, the scenarios, the characters, and so on. With Stargate, we have the luxury of exploring different planets and
absolutely.
And such,
as you were talking then, I was thinking, well, our setting is the universe, but we've really seized that opportunity and really made the most of that, I think. So the next level looks very different to this, as does the one after, the one after. Everything is really very different, and there are some. I don't know whether we'll ever get to show them before the game is public. But
I hope not. We're going to spoil all the story, and that's
there are some very, very intelligent things they've done with the just the environmental design as well. So it's not like every level has cliffs, and cliffs are always important. There are some levels that work in very different fashions because of the environment, and I'm trying to think of a clever way to express that without revealing anything. But I have not been successful.
No, I think you've been successful. I think the cool thing that we have to I always take away from Stargate is that, well, I'm excited because it's the first narrative-driven game. It's the first time we publish a game with such a deep attachment to characters and the story and such. And I think this is really delivering on the Stargate idea. Stargate is a narrative-driven universe.
I've been very taken aback by the depth of affection that people hold Stargate in, and how much it means to so many people, not just in the fan community, but also at MGM and now at Amazon as well. There's a lot of love for Stargate internally. People are very keen that we make the best game that we can to do justice to the Stargate community. So it's a big challenge, a big responsibility. But,
But talking about MGM, we've got I got a video message from a friend of ours at MGM.
Yes,
we're gonna play that, and we'll be right back.
Hello, my name is Matt Groot, and I'm the Director of Production for Interactive Games here at MGM. We could not be more excited to be telling a new story with original characters set in the SG-1 universe through Stargate, Timekeepers. It truly has been a pleasure working with the team to bring this exciting new title to life. Today is a special day where you'll be able to see new details about the game. We really hope you enjoy it.
Did I run fast enough?
Yeah, you were so fast. Wow.
This is gonna kill me. Where are we? I don't remember. While I was doing the Stargate thing, I was like,
Yeah.
I don't remember what I have to do next.
Yeah, but I'm here to remind you. We are here to answer some questions.
Oh, right. Okay.
About,
Cool.
Stargate.
Cool. That's great. That's
to
great.
say hello to our friends watching us. Wow.
This is Max. This is
yeah.
the famous Max. Look, you don't want to get close to him when he's got that look.
Yeah.
He looks a bit like Julia when you're late on a live stream. Look at that. It's like,
yeah, you're right. You're right. It's totally like Julia. Oh,
Yeah.
this is Julia. The other one was Enzo.
Yeah. All right. So a couple of things we've got to talk about
Yeah.
on Stargate, right?
Yes.
We've got some questions you noted
I've
here
got
for
some
me.
questions. Of course, Stargate is a very anticipated game. For example, let's see. I read them by myself. For example, when is the game set?
I think we've sort of tackled this in a previous live stream. It's the game takes from the Battle of Antarctica on SG-1 Series 7, I think it was.
Okay.
At the end of Battle of Antarctica, another group of members of another team are taking on another adventure, and that's the starting setting for the game.
Okay.
And then after that, it's all new and all brand new. So there are some references to SG-1, but the characters are all brand new.
Wow, it's amazing. And another question that is, I think, a question that can interest many of our followers. When will the beta available?
Yeah, well, we will start. We're seeing that with Neil in the stream before when we were showing the game. We're planning to go beta around this summer.
Yeah.
For the celebrations of the 25 years of the release of Stargate SG-1. And but yeah, I mean, with games like this, there's an awful lot of fine-tuning to do before you enter the beta phase. But we're confident that that's what we're gonna do.
Okay. We can't wait. Oh my God.
we can make sure that you guys out there are up to date on what is happening. These are all sets of new screenshots we've published and are taken from other scenarios in the game. So you can see quite a lot of different scenarios here.
They're really accurate.
They are glorious. I love them all.
Wow.
There's been a lot of work into making these things, really cool places to.
I want to play it now.
Yeah, you want to play it now. Yeah.
Another question for you. For example, I've got so many questions. I don't know what to ask you. Oh, any chance Stargate lands on consoles?
This is going to be a recurring one today.
Yeah, many are asking.
We think that there's chances that Stargate comes in console. I mean, if you take the Master of Magic example I've done before, where the game is kind of complex and very hard to bring to consoles because of the UI, definitely Stargate is much more manageable for the port. So it's definitely a possibility. It's PC for the moment.
Okay. And I read just a question before coming here. One of our users was asking, but one of the original actor will be giving his voice to the game or not?
Well, we don't have any of the original SG-1 characters directly in the game, so we don't have that as a need, but we are doing a very accurate job with MGM selecting the actors for the voiceovers in the game, and some of the acting is really impressive, I have to say.
Wow.
It's really coming down really well.
Well, acting is really important for a game, I think.
It is. I mean, you know about acting, and I guess that especially for a narrative-driven game where characters are so important, having some cool voices that go with the characters is fundamental.
Yeah. it gives you the impression to be in the game.
Yeah. It's immersive. Yeah, it's immersivity, definitely. Here's a Stargate in the image.
Yeah, wow. And I think we have a little advertising now.
Yeah.
I think.
And then we're all back here.
Yeah, for you.
Here it is. Thank you, Alienware, for supporting us in this live stream. We have been using Alienware kits for showing up the games in glorious 4K and all the maximum definition possible. So thank you, Alienware, for supporting this live stream. So we've got a new thing to announce, right?
Yeah, some new things.
It's not a game.
No, it's not a game this time. No. As you know, we enjoy very much doing tea time, doing this program.
Yeah.
I know that you guys like them very much. So we decided to bring you more of this kind of entertainment.
Yeah, I'm a bit shy now.
No, you are not shy.
I'm a bit shy.
Sorry, but this is yours, Marco.
This is
I don't
mine.
know.
This is good to me. Do I have to put it on?
Yeah, maybe if you want.
Gosh,
It's
not
mandatory.
Okay, take this.
Microphone. 2 microphones. Haha, I have the power now. You're like Gordon Ramsay of Wargamers.
Yeah, I am. Okay, where's my applause here? Come on.
Come on, guys. We have a live audience, so we have to use it for the important things, or not?
Oh, come on. It's
What-
ratatouille.
Yeah, ratatouille. Is there a mouse under that hat?
There is a mouse. There's plenty of space. Look at this. We have lots of news about this, right?
Yes. The reason why Mark is wearing a hat is not that he's becoming a cook, but it will be for some kind of reason, because it will host the World Gaming Cook.
Yes, we're basically, because Tea Time is being so successful, what we're trying to do is open up to new formats in video streaming and video on demand.
Yes.
And meaning that we have new shows coming. And I guess we're starting from Wargaming Cook because it's kind of funny way of interacting with the audience in a different way, I guess. So the Wargaming Cook will be a 30 minutes video on demand YouTube show where we are going to host a popular host for our audience, someone who's relevant in terms of either topics to talk about, passions, interests, not necessarily linked to our industry, but in general, someone who can relate to our players in a way. And we're going to have a chat whilst cooking some Italian recipes.
Pasta carbonara.
Yes, just simple stuff. We're not trying to be too fancy. But
like mom's cooking.
Mom's cooking is a good idea.
Okay,
yeah,
so
Mama's kitchen.
Mama's kitchen. Marco's Mama's kitchen.
And you're also doing something, right?
Yeah, I have. I took my space, of course. I will do the newsroom with Julia. That will be a weekly program. It will last like 5-10 minutes. It depends on the week, because I will be the anchor woman of Slytherin. I will announce some upcoming news. And I will give you some updates, talk about future plans, and give some insights. So it will be, I hope, interesting. I hope.
You've been doing some Instagram stories as well. So
you're
like, I think the newsroom. The cool thing about the newsroom is going to be that we'll have a format every Monday morning. People will be able to check what is happening at Slytherin during that week.
Yeah, it's a way to be in contact with you all the week long, because we will have a newsroom with Julia on Monday, tea time on Thursday with Marco. So we will have many opportunities to interact with us and to make you write us comments and questions, and so So it's a good way to stay in contact.
And we also have something that's dedicated to our community members with
Yeah.
a format called What's Your Mod?
Yes. We will play some of our mod, and this will be hosted by Edmond.
Our wonderful play a game at the maximum difficulty level possible in 20 minutes, Edmond.
Yeah. It's a long name, but it's a good name.
Yeah, and he's going to do this, playing mods from some of our popular mods on our games, and so that we sort of, I think, give back to the community into what they give to us, because we publish games with some modding possibilities, and very seldom we show what our community has been doing with this modding possibility. So it's a good way of giving something back to them, crediting them.
It's important. And we have to thank you, community, because you support us always, and it's really, really important for us.
Yeah, I mean, you're a vital part of what we do. It's having games out there with such a wealth of content, even without us even interfering with it. It's great. It's making our games live longer. So that's,
I take the chance to remind you guys that you can write us in our Twitch chat, that's YouTube chat, on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. You can interact with us today and always, generally.
All right, so we're going to play this recap video back again to start off for the last hour of this show, and we'll be right back.
Yeah.
Are you ready? Are you ready for the comeback? We the ones that ready for whatever. We gon' have to show them something, man. Let me see them hands up all the way front back. You don't understand that I'm doing what you can't with no cap. This is the return of the one. You ain't see him coming, you just heard drums. They've been ready for the battle. Any person that comes got the weight of the world on them. Yeah, they too strong. And I might have been down, not out. Only one thing I gotta know now. So are you ready for the comeback? Are you ready for the comeback? You know we the ones that. Let me see them hands up all the way front back. Yeah, it's the comeback. Are you ready for the comeback? Now I see it with your bad self. If you're into taking L's, then it can't help. I'll be the self-made champ. Look at my belt. I built this star from the ground up. It's all by myself, you know. This is the return of the one. You ain't see him coming, you just heard drums. They've been ready for the battle. Any person that comes got the weight of the world on them. Yeah, they too strong. I might have been down, not out. It's on sight, you gon' figure that out. And I might have been down, not out. Only one thing I gotta know now. So are you ready for the comeback? Yeah. Are you ready for the? Are you ready for the comeback? You know we the ones that. Let me see them hands up all the way front back. Yeah, it's the comeback. Are you ready for the comeback?
All right, back live. We are going to move to the final phase of this event. We have about 1 minute to say, just quickly recap what we've seen. So we've seen Master of Magic, entire 40 minutes of gameplay. You'll be able to see again or watch again on YouTube once the event is over. Hopefully tomorrow I will upload everything, but if you want to watch the whole event, then you can do it straight away on Twitch and YouTube as well. Then we also did some we announced Field of Glory Kingdoms. The first time we've shown the game screenshots. We've had a nice chat with Neil about it. This was, as we said, one of the worst kept secret in the industry. But I think the comments on the live chat were really pleasing and positive. So I'm really happy about that. And then we've moved to Stargate, Timekeepers. We've showed about 30 minutes of Annie trying to sneak into an enemy camp she got killed only 4 times, so I think it was a decent success for today. We're gonna have her back now. So before before we move on, just very quickly, if you want to ask for, give the hashtag.
Hashtag HowLive2022. Okay, and also I remind you our social channels, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and Twitch. Interact with us, ask questions, hear your voice.
Now we have a little surprise for you, which is this is the second worst kept secret in the industry, probably. I think this probably gets the grand prize, but who knows. So I have a trailer for you, which is a teaser we showed back in December with a little bit of a reveal, and then we'll have Neil back on stage to talk about the game.
Everyone. We've already done one badly kept secret of the day, which was Fog Kingdoms. We now have the second badly kept secret of the day, which is...
We do indeed.
Yes, Ancient Arenas Chariots is finally announced. It was teased at Christmas and has been mentioned in the tea time, I think, pretty much every week ever since. So we're here to show a bit of gameplay today. Annie will be playing against a number of streamers in a few minutes' time. We also wanted to take a bit of time to introduce the other side of the game. We're pitching this obviously as a spiritual successor to Quadriga, and we have many of the same features in there, but obviously it looks a little bit more up to date now, I think. We've spent a lot of time constructing our models and motion capturing horses, which is something I've always been very keen to point out.
Very passionate about.
I've always been very keen about the motion captured horses in there. I very much like the idea that there's some guy in a field in Poland motion capturing a horse somewhere. And I think it's paid off pretty well. We do have a resident horse expert in the office, Mr. Sharrock, knows an awful lot about horses and has been advising us on how they should be moving. We'll come to that later on, but this is an instance of the expanded metagame there. We had a brief look at the blacksmith, which is one of a number of sort of different buildings we'll get to play with over time. When you start up the game, you will choose, as in the original game, there's a number of factions you can belong to and a number of specialities you can pick up. That will determine which buildings are available to you, and therefore which of the skills are available to you at first.
And you will be able to upgrade your chariots using all these items, but it really
Indeed,
depends.
you start pretty rough. You start very much at the bottom of the pyramid in the world of charioteering here.
Yeah, we'll be racing in some of the dirty and overgrown tracks. There'll be nothing grand, no Circus Maximuses for you when you start out. But maybe you'll build your way up, who knows?
Indeed, it's a long way to the top if you want to be an Auriga, definitely. This is an example of one of the buildings we have, the shrine, where you can pray for divine favour, you can curse some of your upcoming opponents, or you can indeed ask for a blessing from the gods yourself. The villa, which we may come to in a bit, maybe one of the screenshots if I managed to grab all the right screenshots earlier on. The villa is where you control the abilities of lots of, here we are, fantastic, where you control the abilities of lots of the other buildings in the game. So you could, for example, upgrade a shrine so that you were able to
give better blessings,
get more than one god to curse your opponents if you were feeling sufficiently mean, which is, of course, the way to be doing things. metagame is much expanded, I think. You have, I think it's about 8 or 9 buildings in total, is it?
I believe so.
Something in that area. Not all of them available to you at launch. You'll probably have about half of that, I think, at the start of the
no
game.
need for the villa when you don't particularly have anything to manage at the beginning.
Well, indeed, yes. You'll start off kind of scrabbling for a few sesterces on some of the provincial tracks.
Maybe praying for a curse for the second brother of whoever's riding against you.
Indeed. Things you can do in the game, I mean, you'll be able to upgrade your chariot, obviously, and upgrade your charioteers' equipment. I know you have your favourites in terms of charioteers' equipment.
I definitely do. There's a really cool lion head helmet that I just know would intimidate my enemies riding down the course, and I need it.
Absolutely. That was one of the first things we insisted on putting in the game, I think. The concept art they had of a lion's head helmets, we insisted they put in for real, which I think was a very good decision overall.
I like to think so.
You can scout around sort of your known world. We have 4 main areas. We have Egypt, Greece, Rome, and Hispania, which sort of covers 4 very different looking tracks visually. I think it's Rome we're showing today off the top of my head.
I believe so.
Because we are in Italy after all, so why would we not? You build up your networks over time, get a better impression of what's out in the different territories in terms of horses, new equipment, charioteers, so on and so forth.
The actual little Riga itself.
Indeed, yes. You've got a lot of different mechanics to balance. There's any number of buildings to upgrade, your equipment, your charioteers, your horse teams. Will work together immediately, but also would stand to have better training, work together, and they can then they improve. They work more harmoniously. They're just more effective. Your lead horse can be trained. Your other horses, your lead horse being your funalis. A word I've learned during the production of this game.
What armour your guy might wear is another pretty important one, because he's probably most likely to get stabbed not wearing his leathers.
Absolutely. It is all is fair in chariot racing, it would be fair to say.
There is absolutely damage done to opponents in any way, shape or form.
You are going to be taking an awful lot of grief out there. Your horses can sustain damage during a race and will. Certainly, and your charioteer too. Indeed, we may see it today. It's not unknown for your charioteer to come flying off your chariot completely, and then it's a life or death scramble.
It certainly is. Whether you want to bend her, have him skinned, or whether you want to let go and maybe redeem the next race.
Indeed, live to race another day. I've seen a few in testing over the last few days. I've seen a few charioteers get mown down by a pack of horses, which is delightful.
I'm a little bit of a hothead, and I always think I can go faster.
Obviously, maintaining the health of your charioteer is vitally important in a campaign. It goes without saying that a charioteer who has been mown down by a pack of horses is not going to be much use to you.
Both charioteers and horses have health bars, and it's things inside like getting whipped by opponents or not feeding them well is obviously going to damage that, whereas looking after them to the best of your ability is probably going to do better.
Indeed. What else do we have in terms of mechanics? Blacksmiths for equipment as well. Your equipment will degrade over time, as well as getting smashed up by your enemies. It may indeed even get cursed by your own enemies. There's an awful lot out there, so you will need to establish good trade works. You will gain research points by having a meteorology tent, but also by then various race-winning mechanics as well will also grant you points to research new blueprints for better equipment, or indeed just brand new equipment. So how you equip your charioteers is vitally important. Reserve horses you'll be able to run once you've built up your chariot racing enterprise. You will be able to run more than one chariot team in a race, either controlling them or you can have a second team running as an AI team. The races themselves are, we tend to play them turn-based, but you can also play them in real time as well, which is I think something which is new here. You don't have to play the races at all if you just want to manage through your campaign. If you're keen to get to a new bit of equipment to unlock something, you can simply let the race play out on its own, and you can either spectate on the race or just see what the conclusion was.
You do have the ability to really micromanage and go in, but if you really just enjoy racing the horses, then that is also just an option.
There's a wealth of details seen there on the villa screen. You can throw a banquet for your patron. That gets you favour points, or faction points rather. Enough faction points and you'll be able to enter particular races which would otherwise be closed off to you. So only the very best connected and those who spend time fawning over their patrons will get to race in the very best races and work their way out of the flea pits into the most glorious of hippodromes around the world. Something we have here is one of the better ones, although we do have certain very grand ones as well across the different territories. Coming together quite nicely. We are not too far, I think, from being able to beta it now.
Yeah, we're looking to hopefully do so in the summer.
Yeah, indeed. We shouldn't be very far away at all. So feeling quite positive about it, I
Feeling
think.
excited.
Yes, I'm glad you're excited, as you will soon be running off to play with a number of leading streamers and show them what you're made of when it comes to chariot racing.
Beautiful.
The spiritual successor of award-winning indie game Quadriga, Ancient Arena's Chariots is a unique mix of fast-paced tactical action, clever resource management, and lawless, chaotic racing. Welcome on stage, senior producer Neil McKenna and producer Annie Sims.
I am not Annie Sims.
You are not.
I am. We had to play this because we forgot to play it earlier, so we had it in the back burner. So we had to play it anyway. So we are now going to try this moment of this is never going to work.
Yeah.
Okay. So the guys have asked me to take some time because we have to set things up a little bit. Now, what we're trying to achieve now is we're going to try and run a multiplayer race with 4 or 5, I can't remember.
I think we're doing 5 in total, yeah.
Hopefully 5. Hopefully 5. It's not. If it's not 5, it's going to be 5 with 4. I can see. Are the green ones the ones that joined the lobby?
The greens are ready.
Are ready for the race.
Yes,
okay.
We are waiting.
So connected from Germany, we have Writing Bull, Guten Abend, Writing Bull. We have Cringer also ready. We have Das Tactic from Australia. It's probably, what, 4 o'clock in the morning there?
No idea.
We've got Angry Joe and we have Annie as well, right?
Yep. Playing as Paolo.
So if this is going to work, I'm going to do the first episode of the Wargaming Cook entirely dressed in pink with plumes. If it works. If it doesn't, it's fine. It's still fine. We can talk about the game anyway.
We can.
So we basically are waiting that everyone joins the game.
Yeah, we're just
at the moment we're waiting for Writing Bull, are we?
Yep, it's only Writing Bull we're missing. Everyone else is ready.
Cool. Okay, cool. So I mean, I trust the Germans. So I have a good faith in the Germans. This is, and then we have Annie playing for the Slytherin colours.
Representing the honour of Slytherin, and yes, indeed.
Okay. And if we have problems in, completing the first race, Writing Bull is green, so off we go. You're going to tell us what's happening, right?
I am going to tell you what's happening. We just need to start off the race.
Okay, let's see what happens. How far? I was trying to mumble things around and trying to fix things as you were talking. So, did you say anything about how ready the game is? How long we are in the process of development?
We touched on it briefly. Yes, we're again quite close to being feature complete at this point. All the sort of main systems are in there. We still need to balance the single player game. There's still obviously a few issues to be ironed out here and there. UI is fairly rough at the moment, so this is placeholder UI in terms of being able to set your settings and particularly for selecting the different tracks.
Thank you guys for saving myself and being completely dressed in pink with plumes. If things are, let's see if we manage to pull this together. Of course, this is not an easy anything. We're trying to do this with a build that's not even feature complete, and we have received this build and tested it. I think once maybe. Over the weekend.
Yeah, we've had a few sort of positive results with it here and there.
So let's see how it goes, and if someone joins the race.
There's always a risk on the day itself.
Of course there is, and we're fine with it. And I can see people running around like headless chicken in the background.
Indeed.
It's pretty cool. It's okay. And Neil, could Ancient Arenas Chariots, the development has been interesting because there's always this thing where you want to balance the management part of the game and the racing part of the game. And how long do you think players will spend in one part and the other?
Well, I don't think we've ever been worried about making an appealing chariot racing game. We've always felt that that's going to work very well. We're building on solid foundations there, and it's always been the challenge has always been there and quite clear. Building an appealing meta game to go around with that and give people a reason to want to do more than dip in and out of individual races has certainly been a challenge. But we've got a number of systems in there. We need to balance them out a bit more finely, I think.
Yeah. But the other thing, of course, with a game like Ancient Arenas Chariots is that you end up having to please different types of players, right? Because there's players who are gonna really enjoy only the racing part, and the management part has to be deep enough to please whoever's fond of management games.
Well, we've always conceived it as something where you would be able to play almost purely as a management game if you wanted to, just not really taking part in the races, if for whatever reason you chose not to do that. So there's a number of sort of reasonably challenging systems in there. We've always wanted to make a game that offers a challenge on that level as well. I don't think it's enough to simply offer the base racing game.
All right, what I'll do is now I'll ask the guys. I mean, I really don't mind if this live is there's a bit of interaction between us. But what we can do is maybe pull forward the next bit, the next part, and see if we can fix things around whilst we are offline, maybe, and move try again later. But okay, I see the loading screen. I see a loading screen. This is either the game restarted. I didn't understand a thing. Come here. I think she's Julia is the other Julia. We have a Julia and then we have the other Julia. She's telling me that things are probably gonna work now, but I don't know. This looks like
we have a single player game set up, but it appears to be set up with indeed only a single player.
All right, this is the single-player challenge. Okay, cool.
So this gives you an idea. Obviously, there are no AI characters working in here.
Right. So basically,
that's just the way we've set it up in the rush to get it working.
So you have your bit where you can decide what's your next move.
You have a number of actions down here, for example, which will be sort of familiar from the original game as to what you can do. So in the top-down view here, which was sort of seen traditionally, you get an idea of...
This went down very badly. Too fast in the corners, too fast in the corners.
Too fast in the corners, indeed. So we may get to see here the tension between, yes, there we go, getting dragged along there.
We can safely say it. Okay, do you have
Trying
any
to flee.
Do you have any killings going on in the game?
You can run other Arigas down, certainly. So if somebody comes flying off, you can try and target them. Indeed, they will try and make it to you. You will see there where the screen is paused. We have a gate in the side there. That's where another charioteer will try and flee to. So you can choose to try and run them down and mete out some justice.
Is there any horse killing?
Horses can die.
Okay.
Yeah, so as in
reality?
As in reality, horses can die. It won't be particularly graphic, but it's an unfortunate part of chariot racing that it can be dangerous for the horses as well as for the human racers.
One thing I found out is that a lot of this stuff was actually true back in the days. I mean, these chariot races were the actual sports of the time.
Yeah.
The Aurigas, are we ready for the race? Are we not ready for the race? This is great. Hopefully, this is going to happen now. Maybe. Maybe not. Who knows? That Aurigas were actually the sports stars of the time.
Oh, very much. They were, they were very much the stars of the day, like footballers are today, either in Italy or in England.
And these guys were earning a lot of money.
They were.
They had managers, and the whole thing about management, the management metagame, is actually pretty true to life. You had this, entrepreneurs starting their own,
Indeed, yeah. It was, their own teams, as it were, and the ability to build up your team is something we will have in the game here too.
So it's surprising how, similar to some of the logics we have in our current sports that were back in the days.
They were all there back in the day as well, certainly, yes. It's there's nothing is ever truly new.
Yeah. It's right. So, guys, I guess that what we could do is now try and move to the next bit. We have I think we have a little bit of time we can fill with the recap video, and then maybe move to Starship Troopers, and hopefully get back to Ancient Arenas later if we can. But I don't want to make. I just want to make sure that viewers out there are watching something interesting anyway. So I will. Let's see if we can organize something with Starship Troopers on the fly, if possible.
Are you ready? Are you ready for the comeback? We the ones that ready for whatever. We gon' have to show them something, man. Let me see them hands up all the way front back. You don't understand that I'm doing what you can with no cap. This is the return of the one. You ain't see him coming, you just heard drums. They've been ready for the battle. Any person that comes got the weight of the world on them. Yeah, they too strong. And I might have been down, not out. Only one thing I gotta know now. So are you ready for the comeback? I see you with your bad self. If you're into taking L's, then I can't help. I'll be the self-made champ, look at my belt. I built this star from the ground up, it's all by myself, you know. This is the return of the one. You ain't see him coming, you just heard drums. They've been ready for the battle, any person that comes got the weight of the world on them, yeah, they too strong. I might have been down, not out. It's on sight, you gon' figure that out. And I might have been down, not out. Only one thing I gotta know now, so you ready for the comeback? Yeah. Are you ready for the... Are you ready for the comeback? You know we the ones
Releasing on June 16th, Starship Troopers Terran Command is the most anticipated RTS of the season. Please welcome on stage executive producer David Sharrock and senior brand manager Alberto Casalini.
Hi everyone, and welcome. We're going to show you Starship Troopers Terran Command. So the game has been out on pre-order and it's going to release in a month's time on June 16. David, for anyone who might not be familiar with the game, what type of game it is?
So Starship Troopers Terran Command is an RTS, a real-time strategy game set in the Starship Troopers universe, but on a new undocumented planet.
The movie universe.
Yes, the movie universe.
Yes, very important. Okay, so the game is single-player only, and it focuses on a story campaign in which the Federation tries to defend the planet of Kwalasha from a bugs invasion.
There is, has come to no surprise to anyone, there were no bugs, then there's bugs. And we are being sent there to deal with said bugs.
Yes. Okay, so today we're going to show you a brand new mission that we have never shown before. It's called The Perimeter. What can you tell us about it?
So, Perimeter is quite a lot further into the campaign than we've previously shown, as you can see from the screen we're seeing with the Edmond playing away, showing us our scenario select screen. So previously we've only shown you missions from quite near the early of the game. The Steam Next Best demo was kind of the first 3 missions. So we're going now to the kind of end of what we call Act 3 internally. There's been a very large bug invasion. The Federation has heroically made a great stand and pushed the bugs back into, well, next door. But we are heroically securing the perimeter now.
Yes, I don't want to give spoilers away, but we're going to see some units that we have never seen before.
Yes, we're looking forward to it. And Edmond is going to win heroically, aren't you, Edmond?
Yes, actually, Commander Edmond is very experienced with the game, but we're not exactly sure that he can beat this.
I've seen him play.
Yes. I mean, what do we do with him if he doesn't win?
Oh, I don't know. I think we might have to court-martial him, to be honest.
Yeah, probably. Actually, you know, we only have 30 minutes to beat the mission, so let's make a bet. If Edmond can't win in 30 minutes, he's going to be in trouble.
Oh, I think so. I think there's trouble awaiting for him right here.
All right, so let's get into it.
City. To prevent further incursions, the military is building a line of fortifications around Kwalasha's industrial sector. Troopers are busy clearing out the last few insect stragglers from the green zone. Safety, security, and a return to normal life are just around the bend.
Normal life, here we come.
All right, so some of you might not be familiar with how the game plays, so we'll take the first few minutes to familiarize ourselves with the UI and anything that's happening.
Yes. So we've got a few new characters we haven't met before yet. You'll learn more about them when the game comes out. These are kind of our commanding officers for this mission. As you can see, we've heroically drawn a line around the planet that includes most of Kwalasha, where the bugs can maybe stay safe.
Yes.
But however, the PR is maybe not necessarily matching the reality. So we're here to make that happen.
Okay. Sounds like a plan.
Yes.
All right, so what can you tell us? What are we seeing here?
So this is pretty much every mission in Starship Troopers, you start with a radio base, which is kind of your base of operations. Here, Edmond has been, shall we say, dropped into a hot zone. So he's very quickly calling down new troops to help secure his immediate surroundings. He's using his combat engineers to put down turrets to basically secure his base. If you can look at the mini-map in the bottom left, you can see he holds a very small amount of terrain, and there's a lot of red with lots of big numbers on it, which indicate lots of bug hives with lots of bugs in them.
Yes. Let's talk about these days. You can only build some specific buildings in specific slots.
Yes, so each of you, to encourage, shall we say, collection of the bases around the map, the Federation wisely only kind of built so many building slots in each base. So specialization is the name of the game. So here Edmond started out with access to rifle troopers, Mark II troopers, and combat engineers. Yes. But he needs to go and use his deployment zone back in his base to open up the next level of units. So he's pushing forward a bit to try and get forward and secure an outlying area.
Awaiting orders.
Oh, that's a bug layer.
Yes, those are kind of environmental obstacles. They're there to kind of little bug hives that you can try and blow up with grenades, but they'll keep spitting out bugs until you close them, but they're not the main bug hives. They're the real threats on the map.
Yes.
So he needs to kind of, he's doing that to basically buy himself a bit of space, a bit of breathing room to build out from. But his main problem is that his southeast corridor is open. So we've got that's why he's building his turrets back there, back in the base, kind of secure that zone.
You know, one of the things I really enjoy about this game is how it always keeps the pressure on the player. There's never a dull moment in Starship Troopers.
No, if you stop, the bugs tend to keep coming.
Yes.
They tend to there's never enough bugs, really. There's also quite a lot of your guys. So if you want to, the Federation being the Federation, there's always more bodies. It's about using those bodies well.
Yeah.
So you'll notice the little pips appearing over these troops' emblems are experience levels. So they're getting better at doing what they do, which is fighting the bug menace. And if you lose them, they're gone, you don't get the experience back. However, if you can keep at least one alive and refill that unit with troops from orbit, then you keep that experience level. So that's kind of a lot of the heart of the game, is keeping those experienced troops alive.
So how do you get reinforcements then?
So reinforcements are called from orbit. The fleet are up there with lots of ready, eager citizens willing to do their duty, do their part. But you need supplies and war support in order to call them down. So on the bottom UI there, you can see there's kind of 5 elements. There's the battle tier, which is kind of how far the battle has progressed and whether your Federation commanders believe it's a serious enough battle to get attention for. He has his deployment slots he's got available, dropships available, and then supply and war support. Supply is kind of like your soft cap, which people know from other RTSs. It's kind of how many basic bodies you can get out, whereas war support is for the kind of more sophisticated things like buildings and also some of the more advanced Federation units.
Okay. I think this is a good moment to talk about terrain elevation. As you can see, Edmond just placed some troopers on an elevated terrain. What's the advantage of that?
So first of all, line of sight. If you're up there, you can see that, see what's coming. I think Edmond, on this map, there's some fun bits later on where you're trying to approach up a slope, and bugs are on there, but you can't see them until they suddenly start eating your face. So that's the first thing. Secondly, rate of fire. Everyone on a higher unit gets a bit more rate of fire. And thirdly, you can fire over troops. So those rifle troopers at the back there, they're obviously in action now because that bug hole spawned some new guys. But you can't shoot through your own soldiers. The Federation tends to frown upon self-inflicted casualties. It's a valuable resource. So putting for someone on elevation means they can shoot over units with no real care about who's in the way.
That's very handy.
Yes.
Yeah, as you can see, Edmond has been using quite a few unit abilities.
Yes.
Each unit, has a standard mode of attack, but they also have special abilities.
Yes. And he's also just pushed forward and cleared his first bug hive. He's obviously heard our inspirational talks and he's really pushing for it. So the bug hive is just cleared. It's kind of like the main bug structure in our game. Where bugs come from, where bug attack waves come from, where bug defensive structures are built. So he's now captured a new base here and putting down a kind of a comms base, which will allow him to summon the fleet liaison, which is a new troop. We've not done this before. Also, he's brought down a couple of rocket troopers because there was a rocket depot attached to that base. Yes. So he's now got a bit of a nice defensive line there on top of that wall. But you also have seen a new threat appeared, which are tankers and plasma bugs.
Yes.
So tankers are basically, the bugs have noticed him. They are mildly annoyed. So they will now start spawning tanker bugs and attack waves.
Oh, here's
like
one.
This guy here, yes. Which unfortunately is going to cause his Mark II troopers a few issues. They appear to be melting.
I love that
they're
animation.
Melting, Edmond. They're melting. Do something.
No, that's fine. I really love the animation, and I'm glad that we showed that on screen. Also, new threat, hopper bugs as well. Oh, by the way, I don't think we have shown plasma bugs before, so that's new as well.
Yes, so plasma bugs are the ones you've recognized from the movies, but in this one, they're not just shooting at orbit, they're shooting at you.
Makes sense.
So on the minimap, you see the kind of big blue zones. That's kind of the plasma bug range of fire on this map. If you get in there, they'll start dropping big, high explosive globs of plasma on you, just to keep you on your toes, that kind of thing. So Edmond's doing all right here. He's pushing forward. He's got enough supplies to call down Fleet Liaison if he wanted to, which might be a decent shout in the moment. Fleet Liaisons, like the radio troopers people... Oh, there we go. There is a puzzle problem.
Yeah.
He might want to move from there. Oh, and here's some spiffers. And some hoppers. Oh dear, people are falling dead.
No.
Come on, Edward, you can do it.
Yeah.
There we go.
He made it.
He's made it. And he's also avoided a plasma strike. Oh, well done, Edmond.
Another layer.
So he's chosen not to go with the radio operator, so he can't summon reinforcements in the field. Otherwise, he'd be able to get some new bodies down to replenish those guys who've been killed.
Yes.
But also, the Fleet Liaison Officer, not only does she have that ability, she can also call down attack strikes, which are wonderfully devastating. Oh dear, poor bugs.
Yeah, as you remember in the movie, there was quite the rivalry between the mobile infantry and the fleet.
Yes.
So the fleet liaison is there to represent that rivalry. As in, normally the mobile infantry wouldn't have any kind of support from the air.
Yeah, the fleet aren't particularly bothered about your boots on the ground. They're worried about the planes in the air. But the fleet liaison kind of acts as a key link between the two. And there she is.
Nice.
Hello there.
There we go.
Yes, she is unfortunately owned with one Marita pistol. So it's probably best to keep her guarded.
Well, I do hope that we're going to see some tuck strikes.
Oh, I think that zone over there kind of needs...
Here's
as
the
we were saying,
uppercuts.
he's currently attacking uphill, which is occasionally an issue.
Yeah.
As you see, the attack strike has rather failed before. No,
Here's a plasma bug.
Hello, plasma bug.
Very nice.
So it takes a long time for them to recharge, but when they do, it tends to get quite messy. And the hive he's trying to attack you is quite a big one as well. So not only are there bugs, like the chariot bugs there, who are trying to defend the plasma bug.
It's a tuck strike.
Yes, incoming. Come on, Edmond, drop the hammer. There we go.
There we go.
Now the thing is, plasma bugs have quite a lot of armor. So he's done a wonderful job there of clearing out the bugs that are guarding the plasma bug. But he'll need to get his rocket troopers in there to finish the deal. Like that.
Nice.
But she probably needs to get out of there. Come on, Lily, run!
That was a close one.
That was a close one. So he's doing some high action. He's got some good high.
There we go.
There it
One
goes.
plus one,
Good work,
one
Edmond.
down.
So there's two plasma bugs on this map. Yeah, so he needs to go and deal with that. But as you were saying earlier, Alberto, certainly at this stage of the game, Starship Troopers is generally about escalation.
Yes.
You get better, the bugs get better. You get more troops, the bugs get more troops. It all just keeps coming.
Yes.
There's very rarely a moment of peace.
Things will escalate quickly.
Peace is for the weak. So yes, he's now kind of pushing on this bug hive. It's quite a dangerous bug hive because the number you can see on the minimap with 4 indicates there's 4 sources of bugs.
Is another tuck strike?
Yes, good one. That's the one. That's
nice
more
one.
like it.
Yeah.
So warrior bugs, less of an armored unit, and eat barrel bomb quite nicely. So he's coming in now. He's trying to get towards that hive center, which is the center of the hive. But this.
Oh yeah, one trooper just got dismembered.
Oh, but he's got the shotguns out.
That's fine. He's
got the shotguns out. That's good. Oh, that's probably not so good though.
Yeah. I don't.
So he's got to pull in some grenades and call in some.
The fleet liaison just died.
Oh dear, that's a shame.
Yeah.
He's got some trouble. So the hoppers that you can see flying around suppress your troops. They don't. Troops don't like getting hit by hoppers. So it takes a while for them to react and re-engage. So he's in. Oh, that's one unit gone.
It's fine. They died in the service of the Federation.
It did. They were noble lives.
They did their duty.
So he's gone throughout some special rockets here. He's specialised his rocket troopers, I think, in fire grenades there. He's pushing on. But, however, as you said, they have died in service because they've pulled a lot of the teeth of the hive. They have pulled a lot of attention. So they're going to try a last-ditch raid of the hive. Oh, I don't think that went as well as it could have done. There's a few bugs coming left, but there's still one trooper left. You can save him, Edmond.
Yeah, I don't think that...
There's one guy. Come
that's
on.
very close.
Save him.
Come on.
You can do it.
Come on, Edmond.
Oh, I think he's going to do it as well, you know. I think he's going to do it. So close.
Rip that unit.
So, a little announcement there. So, new next battle tier unlocked, which is quite exciting for our purposes. The battle tier next battle tier is battle tier 4. So if Edmond can now find a bit more war support from somewhere, like from clearing a hive and capturing a base, we'll have some fun later on. Oh, however, I think he might need to get a new army. I think this army is not looking as healthy as it could. Yes.
Time to call for reinforcements.
Yes, regeneration time, Edmond. There we go. So, as we were saying earlier, losing your army is not the end of it. Losing your bases is not the end of it. As long as you've got some sort of foothold on Kwalasha, you can get back into the fight. But all these guys are now level 1 XP, no special, or very basic special abilities. So he's going to have to up his game and play better, aren't you, Edmond?
By the way, you have 20 minutes left.
Yes.
Then it's court-martial time.
Yes. No pressure. Some pressure. So you can see that he's able to call down quite a large force, but he only has 5 dropships available at any one time, so there's a bit of a... You can't insta-summon an entire army. That dropship count will run out eventually. So there you go. I think this is looking a bit more like it, though. He's got what, that 2 Mark II, some rockets, some rifles, fleet liaison, and some engineers. I think this feels much more like a force to me. So his combat engineers he's going to use on the flank. They can't shoot hoppers, but they're very good at close range. So they're very, very good for securing a flank or in a choke point. I think he needs to get some extra support up there. The other advantage of the Mark II troopers, which are the guys you see in the middle there, is they have underslung grenade launchers. So even if the line of sight is blocked, they can still contribute to the fight by lobbing some rifle grenades up the top. So here we go. This feels like a good one. So that you can see there,
it really feels great when
yes.
there are all those bugs coming at you and just being shot and torn to pieces. It's amazing.
So you saw that Edmond actually, rather than calling down the attack strike, he used the fleet liaison to drop a dropship beacon, which meant he could summon reinforcements from orbit, which has given him a chance now to basically take a few losses, but then resummon them back and keep them back in the fight. And if he can keep that area defended, then he'll be able to basically push out from there and hopefully take this bug hive down.
Yeah. Just to explain something to those players who are a bit more familiar with RTS games, this game is really, really, really about micro.
Oh yes, it's very much a micro game rather than a macro game.
Yeah.
There is as you've said, there's an economy there, but it's a Starship Troopers economy. It's not your usual. There's no harvesters, there's no drones. Well, there are drones, they're on the other side. There's very much about securing access to forces and using those forces well. Edmond is, from looking at his hand, he's playing with a very high sensitivity mouse. He's barely moving, he's in full leech player mode right now, I think. There we go, so you can see from the markers there, Edmond's cleared the bugs out of the main hive. He's cleared the bugs out of that first tunnel, so I think they're about to come back. There we go. So he's just got to clear those last few pips of bugs down. Oh, are they going to make it? Oh, I think they got bushwhacked, didn't quite make it. But he can get down a drop zone and keep people up. And he's got some reinforcements back at the base to come and help. But looks like that hive's down, that hive's down, that hive's down. Clear it, go on, get those guys in there. Come on, boys and girls, you can do it. So they're going to go in there. The bugs basically have been drained of their strength and their fury to take you out. So now a quick push in, a few explosive charges, and the hive is gone. And importantly, the Federation respects this. So it gains two war support for that, which is very useful.
Yeah, this is very good, but 50 minutes left.
Yes, no pressure.
All right, so now we are going to another base.
Yeah, so what he did by taking that big bug hive now is he's bought himself a bit of space, a bit of breathing space around his main defensive lines. So what he's got to do is go and capture that other Federation outpost, which comes with more supplies attached, and also
hive growth.
Oh, hive growth. Oh, that's unfortunate. They dislike you even more. Oh, and arachnid counterattacks. Oh dear, Edmond. The pressure just keeps growing.
Well, I think he will need some new toys soon.
Yes, he will. So what he's going to do now is, see, he's got more supplies and he's got a few more defences, but he's got that hive just to the left of where he is now that's kind of sat in behind his lines. So if I know Edmond, he's going to go and secure that space. So what he's actually doing here is using his dropships for a bit of strategic manoeuvre. So he's pulled those units back into orbit, which gives him a bit of supply back. But he needs to undo some HMD turrets to get the war support back, which will now let him call down the might of the Marauder.
Nice. So this is what I was waiting for.
Yes. So if everyone who's watched Starship Troopers 3 will recognise the M11 Babar Marauder. And whilst these guys are recognising that tankers are no joke, the Marauder is here with its Vulcan cannon and cross machine gun to basically make the bugs pay. So unfortunately, you see, it can move, it can fight, it can't shoot upwards, which is unfortunate. It's not very good at aerial bombardment, but that's what rifle troopers are for.
Makes sense.
Yes, so everyone's going to bring in the big guns now, literally.
Yes. Yeah, I really love it.
Yes, so he's going to secure this area from these bugs. But these warriors are no threat at all to a marauder.
Wow,
look at that! Look at those
you can
bullets
shoot
fly.
it any direction.
Yes,
it's amazing.
So you see that hive has been pretty much shut down within seconds.
Yeah, they're getting decimated.
Oh, will he make that? Oh, that's going to be close.
Yeah, he made it, I think.
Oh. Yes, Edmond.
Yes, nice.
You are still alive. So now he's done what the Federation wanted, which is basically he's closing down hives. But he's now got a new objective, which is not just to clear all the hives, but also to activate the wavebreaker cannons on the exterior perimeter. So
What can you tell us about this cannon?
So the wavebreaker cannons, you'll also remember possibly from Starship Troopers 3, defending the outpost there. They are very big guns, shall we say, is a very subtle way of putting it. But they're currently cut off. The defending forces couldn't secure them when the bugs attacked earlier. So his job is to push forward, reactivate the controls, and use them to stop the bug attacks that are currently coming in. If you look on the minimap, you can see the arrows in the southeast. So there's bug attack waves coming from that direction. So he's now securing some little supply caches around the map to buy himself a bit more supply headroom. Which is used almost instantly. That's how good he is. Oh, and the bugs appear to be taking his base back. Oh, that's unfortunate, Edmond. They appear to have wised up to your cunning plans. So I think he might be about to go into negative supply. He is. Negative supply is no bad thing. He'll be fine. Edmond knows what he's doing. But it does mean that he's not going to be able to summon any new troops until he gets into positive supply again.
I mean, that's dangerous, but not. It doesn't necessarily mean that's the end of the mission.
No, it's the kind of thing. If he can go back there and retake those bases, I have entirely lots of faith in him. But I'm not sure his troopers necessarily do right at this moment in time. Run away, little Ben.
I can make it.
But the mistake Edmond made here is that whilst there weren't many, oh dear, there's so many mistakes everywhere. Oh, Edmond. He'll be fine. His marauders there. He'll be fine. Those engineers, not so much.
By the way, how many types of marauders do we have in the game?
So we have 3. So currently Edmond's got 2 on the board here now. He's got the one with the Vulcan cannon, which is basically spits out high quantities of fire, very good for suppressing the bugs and slowing them down. And then he's got another one down there with a howitzer attached, which is basically a very good anti-armor long-range weapon, especially for taking out.
What's your favorite one?
Oh, I like the one he hasn't got, which is a flamethrower, which maybe we'll see later. So he's currently got some engineers to come and try and secure his main base because he's still getting raided. So yes. To be fair to Edmond, we have asked him to set him a reasonable challenge here.
Yes. Well, I mean,
he's doing well.
He is, but he has 10 minutes left.
Yeah, it might be a kind of a noble discharge, but we'll see. So yes, there's a good force pushing forward. He's lost his other forces, he's lost 2 bases, he's still clinging on to 2 other bases.
But he has 2 marauders.
He has 2 marauders.
And they are advancing. So
yes, they are advancing. He's got, actually those troops there are decent support, but I don't think he's got any more. Fleet Liaison, I think she may have bought the farm, she has. So he's unsupported, but he has all the cannons. And he did well there.
Ooh.
So what you saw may have saw in the middle there is a very big warrior bug. That very big warrior bug is a royal guard, who are big and scary and get really, really angry. He's currently doing a very good job of focusing it down with that howitzer marauder.
So the second bar that we see above the unit is like a second wing.
Yes, it's again kind of in full classic big boss manner. The royal guard has kind of 2 health bars. You get rid of the first, it gets quite angry, then to get rid of the second.
Nice dodge there.
Yes, they're coming for the thing is Royal Guard, if you don't take them down on one of the few units from the bugs are to really seriously damage a marauder. So he's having to fight on 2 flanks at once now. But he's doing a good job.
Oh, he is, for sure.
So yeah, He's pushing forward. He seems to have broken the back of it. He needs to get some troops up there to capture that terminal to get the wave breaker online. If he can get the wave breaker online, then he's got that bit of extra additional fire support right next to this hive. So that's a wonderful place, but it's a dangerous place to go. I bet you go, oh, hello, Royal Guard. Oh, did they make it? Oh, I think he stopped him just in time. If a Royal Guard can make contact with some rifle troopers, their attacks tend to be quite large. You tend to have a lot of bodies at once, which is unfortunate. But there you go. Oh, is he got dodge? He's good. Those rifle troopers can maybe make it.
Yes.
Come on, Edmond.
Can make it. Come on.
We believe in you.
Come on.
So he's captured that terminal, get it online. That'll bring the next
Just
wave
a couple
breaker
more
online.
seconds.
Is he going to survive? Plasma everywhere. Oh, the hopper's interrupted him. The hopper's interrupted him.
Yes!
Yeah, so our power's online, the wave breakers are firing.
And we also gain 1 war support.
Which is a wonderful thing, so there you go. So those wave breakers are very heavily armoured, very highly armoured, so they are just going to...
I really like how the approach of the Federation is just build bigger guns.
No, who wouldn't build bigger guns? So the important thing now is that's kind of secured for him, that flank that was coming from the southeast, so we can now start turning the corner when that Royal Bug pops out right next to all his rifle troopers. Run away, boys! And girls. So what people may have noticed, this level now, which different to the Steam Next Best demo, has lots of voiceovers in it.
Yes.
So the troopers are much more characterful. They are shouting where the Marauders have their voices as well. And in the keeping with the Starship Troopers universe, there's soldiers of every type.
Yes.
The Federation.
Everyone is doing their part.
Everyone does their part, yes. And we respect that. So that's another use of the dropships that everyone's doing there. So he had some units there that are in the backfield. They've been defending the main base. They're quite experienced. He's basically asking for the fleet to do a bit of strategic move, call that guy from the backfield to his midfield to help secure that middle base. And there we go. He's keeping these guys here because the tankers arrived like that. Oh dear, that tanker in your base might be a trouble, Edmond. Told you.
That's not ideal.
No, I think the HMGs have good armor piercing, but it's going to be tight. I don't know one's surviving. Oh, down it goes. What's he bringing down? What's he bringing down? Who's in the ship? Who's in the ship? It's a fleet liaison.
I think it's just kind of.
Is she going to bomb it? No, she's going to summon a thing to get out of there. Run away! Oh, I think he's just survived. I think he has just about got away with that.
Yeah, probably.
So he's going to move his troopers back to the base. Oh, come on, troops! He's being helped. He's got a HMG there up on the turret, which I think is his last best hope. Come on, you can do it. Oh,
no. Oh, no.
Yes.
Oh, yes.
Yes.
Oh, no. Come on.
Oh, it was so close. Oh, here come the engineers.
That was a very violent effort.
He is. He's oh, dear. There's a bit of a flank. Oh, this is unfortunate, Edmond. We had so much faith. We had so much hope for you. Possibly need a bit more troops. Oh, you can summon a flame marauder to your main base there, Edmond, if you wanted to. You can summon a flame
this
marauder.
This is a very desperate defense. Come on. Yes.
Yeah, there we go. That's what we do it. Well done,
nice
Edmond.
job,
Good
Commander
work.
Edmond.
And as you said, because he'd secured that flank here with the wave breakers, his advanced horse here were quite secure because he's got that wave breaker support. That Royal Guard is still really very angry. So there you go. So he's got to now push forward, try and push the last of the bugs out of that hole. There's a good full tunnel over there, so he's going to take quite a bit of heat, I think. Like that, as he would say. So I think the problem is now he's having to move outside of the cover of that wave breaker.
Yes.
Plasma incoming, and Marauders don't really care. They're fine, the rest of the troopers not quite so well armoured.
Those hoppers are being really sure now, because
yes.
the Marauders can't really do much against them.
No, those are, I think that was, 7 of them? Yeah, so
yeah.
Had the unexpected result. And this is the point where losing those bases earlier is really starting to bite. Because he can't field that many units, because he's missing, about 10 supply for not having those bases. So here we go. Let's see. This is his next rank of push forward.
Another wave.
Yes, come on, troopers. So he's basically those Marauders are there. They're kind of fine, but unsupported. There's a good chance they're in trouble. And that hopper swarm is going to cause real issues when that group arrive.
I really like how they're just circling above them like vultures or something.
He has managed to get some upgrades there for his troopers though, and he's sensibly using attack move. So his infantry, as the hoppers fly over the top of that cliff, the infantry are engaging. Old Royal Guard. 2 Royal Guards, 1 each Marauder, and the Plasma Gun. Oh, it's all going off. And unfortunately, Fleet Liaison has been a bit too brave. Oh well, these things happen.
Well, you know, officers need to lead by example.
She leads from the front. It's a really, really good way to go.
That's what the mobile infantry wants.
Precisely. She's there to. Fleet aren't just for flying; they are also for dying.
Yes.
So there we go. So there we go. It's coming in a bit more support now. The Marauders, unsurprisingly, can't fit into the bug tunnels, so you do need some infantry support to get in there. But he's doing a decent job. Lots of fire and flame and brimstone coming out of there. In go his troopers. Can they clear it? It's got to be close. There's a chance, because he's done a lot of damage here. Go on, Edmond. Bang, bang, bang. Yeah.
Nice, boys.
Good work, sir. Well done. So, he's got 4 minutes on the clock from what I can see.
Yes.
He's got 1 more bug hive and 1 more plasma and 3 more control terminals to activate. That's a tough ask. He's not seen that drone hive either. He's not seen that drone hive. Incoming drones. Oh, but his troops have got it. Saved him there. That Fleet Liaison's going to get in the face.
More group.
Oh, the pistol good. The pistol saved her. Oh,
yeah,
well done.
It did.
Well done, Liaison girl. And here come the attack strike to really polish it off. There we go. She knows what she's doing. And down goes that plasma bug.
Nice.
Lovely work, Headlon. We never lost faith.
Nice. Come on.
So yeah, that's the next base coming online. This one has no supplies attached. It's kind of just a little mini forward base. But importantly, you can get new troops to it, which is kind of his key bit because he's kind of out of support radius. Next pair of rail breakers
Here's
come
the
online.
mortar coming online.
More war support. So he's got 3 minutes and 2 terminals to capture.
Yes, although possibly High Command would give us a bit more time.
No.
I'm not sure. I don't know.
Are you saying there might be more that they want to do with this?
No. I don't know. Let's see.
Well, here you go. He's engaging well. So he's got that other terminal over on that far side, which is where, if you remember, he got wiped out trying to take that base. So I would expect some opposition over there. I personally made the mistake of going, oh, it's fine. I'll just send a little set of troopers over to secure it and never hearing from them again. Oh dear, Fleet Liaison, come on. Back you go. Oh, that's what we like.
That officer is one of the best officers I've ever seen.
Down they go. That's unfortunate.
Yeah.
But they gained some experience from it, so, you know, it all works out. I like it.
I mean, friendly fire is killing, right?
Oh, it's an instructive lesson.
Yes.
So it's a grenade down there. Not only does it hurt the bugs, it slows them down as well.
By the way, I just wanted to mention it. It's rather obvious, but as you can see, bugs can scale and climb walls.
Yes. Oh, yeah. So they are not keen on. Well, it's a classic Federation thing. They build a very efficient outpost wall, which just happens to be the perfect size and shape for bugs to climb, which is just unfortunate. I think you'll find. But yes, they don't respect those walls. They don't need to go around them. They will go over them. So here we go. He's going down off his last base. Oh, unfortunately, as you can see, this is at full 4 pips now. These bugs are really not happy. Oh, you'll also notice that the Marauder, being a bit taller, doesn't really respect line of sight rules.
Yeah,
and it's just shooting over the top of everything.
That makes sense.
And here comes all the bombs. There you go, M-bomb. That's what we want.
Nicely done.
Suppressive fire.
Look at those corpses.
Oh, so many corpses. Come on, M-bomb, you can do it.
Come on.
So he's definitely got the upper hand here.
Yes.
I think he may have lost his actual main base, 2 bases. So he's lost 4 bases, but he's still in the fight. So that's good. That's the important bit. He's still in the fight. Yes, unfortunately. So the problem is when you lose bases with technology buildings attached, you can't build that troop again, and you can only have one of those buildings on the map at any one time. So you notice that all I'm not going to do now is summon more rifle troopers. And there you go. All right,
come on,
Edmond.
We're almost there. Come on.
I can see High Command waiting. High
Come
Command
on.
waiting for you, Edmond.
High Command is expecting some results soon.
It's now or never, Edmond. Now or never.
Come on, you can do it. It's so close.
Maybe not them.
It's so close.
I can see the general going to the podium right now, Edmond.
The Sky Marshal wants it
yes,
now.
The Sky Marshal is unhappy. Oh, so are those combat engineers. Oh, I'm not sure it's going to work. Oh, he's got away with it. No, he's been eaten. Oh well. Oh, however, he's got rid of 4 pips, got rid of 7 pips worth of bugs. Got 1 more royal guard.
Come on.
Come on, get
I
those
still believe in
troopers
you.
up.
I still believe in you.
Time is technically up.
No.
No?
Not yet.
Oh, there we go, everyone. Get in there. Get in there. Man,
Getting there, soldiers.
Oh, lovely grenade. Fantastic
Yes.
grenade to finish.
Nice.
I think he's managed. He's only gone and done it.
Yes.
There you go. 3, 6,
Nice. Come on.
9. Last soldier.
Come on,
1
boys.
more soldier. You can do it, boys and girls.
Come on,
Anybody
boys.
else? Yeah, there we go.
Nice.
Edmond, you have survived to and be employed another day. Well done, sir. That's fantastic work.
Now you will be deployed to even more lethal
Yes.
war zones.
Yes, you've proven your ability to fight in more war zones. It's great.
All right. Okay, so I think that's it.
Yeah, cool. So everyone's going to carry on tidying up, but I think we've done our job. We've done our duty.
Awesome. Good job, Edmond.
Well done.
You prove yourself a very efficient and competent commander.
Very good work.
So, as you can see, Starship Troopers Star Command is almost there. We're about to release the game on June 16, so we're just looking forward to showing you more of the game as we get closer to the release. So we really hope that you enjoyed what you've seen. And is there anything else you want to say?
No, I'm really looking forward to releasing it. It's a really fun game. Really looking forward to getting it out there.
Awesome. So thank you so much, and we'll go back on the main stage.
This is it. This is the. This was the wrap up. So we've got the drinks.
Yeah.
I was thinking the spritz is the same colors as my MCV Develop Indie Game Publisher of the Year award. This is an award we won. I think a couple of weeks ago now. Voted by you guys out there and by the press and in the industry, all the members of the industry. So great to see that we have managed to show you so many games today. Julia it was exciting. I think all the games we showed today were really good.
I loved all of them, and especially the 2 brand new announcements. I know that they will be great, and I can't wait.
Kingdoms.
Yeah, Field of Glory Kingdoms and
Ancient Arenas.
Ancient Arenas.
Great multiplayer match on Ancient Arenas. For anyone who didn't make it, I'm sorry, but it went very, very well.
Yeah.
And the Starship Troopers, it's good that we ended with Starship Troopers, which is the one that's releasing just in about a month's time.
In June on 16. So you can pre-order it on our website, and from today also on our third-party stores website. So go and pre-order, and you have 1 month before the release.
The actual release. Then we showed Master of Magic, Stargate.
Yes.
And I think that this is time to wrap things up. This was our 3rd Home of Wargamers Live. We have improved this show over time. The past ones were very much about announcing games. This one has really been about showing games. And I keep saying I should turn things. Which is the one, right?
Yeah,
the right one.
We don't know.
But I'm happy that we come to this point where we are able to produce a show like this that's almost streamlined and problem-free. And we have so many people watching us now. There's thousands, literally thousands of people. So thanks for following us. I look forward to hosting the next Home of Wargamers Live in some time into the future. We don't know exactly how and when, but We'll make sure that the next show is well announced well in advance. Do you want to recap a bit about our social media channels? And
Of course, as you already know, the hashtag of these Wargamers was OurLive 2022, and you can always write us questions on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, also on Twitch and YouTube, and we will see on tea time, of course, this Thursday, and we will answer the questions you made during this live that we made to answer to all of them, because there were so much that it was impossible.
So many questions. I think tea time on Thursday will really focus on answering your questions as much as we can. We'll collect them all and make sure that we now answer all these questions. All the games you've seen today are releasing this year, except for Feudal Grey Kingdoms. And I really hope that you're going to join us next Thursday at tea time and continue following our channels. And it's been great to see so many people turning up to watch the show. Thanks for joining us, and ciao.
Ciao.